Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests, Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Tickets and info at CITPFest.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140. Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SacktownSports.com and the Sacktown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper.
It's the weekend. It's beautiful weather out. Got a Game 7 coming up. Only thing I got to get through is the next 4 hours, ladies and gentlemen, with this guy over here to my left. High flyer in the building here on the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports 1140. What's up, Big Herm? How you doing?
Hey, I was waiting to see if you was going to outdo yourself the way you did Wednesday. You know, you brought me out like I was like said the entertainer, Ice Cube or somebody. Yeah.
You know what? I didn't talk to Jay about it, and so we didn't pre-plan it like we did the other day.
Oh, okay.
It's a one-time thing here around,
Yeah, exactly. This
it's a once-a-week situation, man.
And when you part of the fam, you don't get that every time.
You know what?
You know what I mean?
I'll take that, bro.
Right?
I'll take that. I'm glad you finally admitting that I belong in the back seat.
You like the boyfriend who has now basically become part of the family.
Right.
We ain't excited about you no more. We looking for the little niece that bring her new boyfriend now.
Okay, I got you.
Hey, what's up, man? 916-339-1140. We got a brilliant show coming up for you today. I'm gonna send it to Jay real quick. And Jay, we tried to have Marcus Dupree on the other day. It didn't quite work out.
He said he don't like you.
Can I tease it that we got Marcus Dupree coming up today or what, man?
I can. You should have. We did tease it last couple days ago.
Exactly.
He said he was coming on. I text Mark this morning, to triple check time, and he says it should. Right? It should work. So now I text him back. I said, should probably not go work, Mark. Is it work or not? And he was like, no, it's going to work.
Okay.
So we'll see.
It should. That's that one in a possible right there.
Yes, sir.
That one in a possible. So we got Marcus Dupree coming up later in the show at 3:30. At 4:30, we got Yogi Stewart.
My man.
Sacktown native,
yes, sir.
Michael Yogi Stewart. He's going to be joining us. You know Yogi pretty well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, yo.
All right. I want to see what he says about you.
He was a youngster coming up.
Yeah, young buck coming up in the game in the mid-'90s and everything. So we'll talk to him. And then at 5:10, the big dog, Antoine Carr. Yeah,
my dude.
Now that's your dude right there.
Big toy.
Yeah, so we're going to get some stories. We're going to have story time with High Flyer. We're going to get into Game 7, Jay, but I got to get something off my chest. I got to get something off my chest. You know what, Jay? Play the music. Cue the music, I said.
What music you say?
Drape's music.
Wow.
Drapes takes.
I know, man.
Calm down. Take it easy, man.
You were supposed to go to it a little harder than that.
I know.
Get back in character, dog. Come on.
All right, let me get in character here,
I almost
man.
record scratched and made you do it again.
You should have, Jay. All right, we off to a great start here. Drapes takes. Jay, I was at the A's game for the first time a couple of days ago. And I need to get this off my chest, High Flyer, before we talk basketball, before we talk anything else, big fella.
You got the floor.
Took the kids to the A's game, went with some friends of ours. Shout out to the Stockbridge family. They invited us out there. We had a tremendous time.
Mm-hmm.
The ease of getting in was great. Didn't have to wait in line to get into the park. The food line was kind of short.
Right.
And so I'm hearing all this, it's not Major League Baseball. It's not. You know what? I'm glad it's not a Major League Baseball stadium, High Flyer. I don't need 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. I'm not trying to deal with the crowds like that, big fella.
Okay.
I don't have a pool like I do at Golden One Center. Can't sneak in the back door. You know what I mean?
Now I see what you're talking about. Right.
You know what I mean? So, I thoroughly enjoyed my time there. It was hot, though. It was like 100 degrees because it was 2 nights ago. But me and the kids, we enjoyed our time. It's a great family-friendly atmosphere to go watch baseball.
I've always liked the River Cat Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go and watch them a couple of times, but I'm with you. I got to go at night. I can't go in the daytime.
Yeah, don't go during the day.
I mean, it's like 300.
300, right?
In the daytime.
150 at night, but 300 during the day?
And see, and you and I, we get spoiled. Because like we do have carte blanche when we go into the Golden One.
Right.
You don't have to wait. You don't have to go through
parking set up
you
and
go
everything.
down under. It's great. I mean, we're treated like royalty. But boy, when it's 100 degrees out, and you got to walk from the car to go all the way to the stadium, it's a little different.
And y'all say, wait, man, this is Drake's takes, but y'all show sounding real spoiled.
No, we are. King spoilers.
Come
I
on, man.
I ain't arguing that, Jay.
You arguing to walk from the car to the stadium,
bro? When you don't have to do it, man, you get spoiled real quick.
So what do y'all do when you go to the Kings?
No,
y'all parking that luxurious underneath air conditioner garage?
They lift up the garage door for us.
It's triple checking.
Right this way, Mr. Draper.
Okay.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Hey, security come, they bring the dogs, they sniff the car and everything, and we roll on down.
And we go through security, which is nobody's ever there.
Right.
It's just like, one person. No high flyer, he don't even put his bag on the conveyor belt to run through the machine. He just walked through, don't you?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
See, he got a little more carte blanche than I do out there.
Absolutely. We larger on that joint.
But that's not my take, high flyer.
Go ahead.
That's not my take, Jay. I got a problem. Let me start with outside the arena. Guess how much it costs to park the damn car?
$40.
$30. Guess how much tickets cost? $15. You shouldn't have to pay more for parking than tickets. That has to be a rule worldwide. No way the parking should be more expensive than the actual ticket. That's backwards. That's backwards to me. And maybe I'm sounding bougie, but I thought you guys would co-sign on this.
Well, it's Drake's takes. I'll connect. I'll connect after.
$30 for parking?
I've seen worse. I have definitely seen worse.
Man, I've paid more to park at a person's graduation.
Really?
In Sacktown? What?
No.
Doubt about it.
Maybe I'm used to the media parking, and I don't know what the prices are. But all right, so you saying it's okay that the parking is more than the ticket price?
Yes, because I'm saying the ticket, technically everywhere else throughout the country, minus a few spots, is always going to be more than $30 for a sporting event at this point.
I was about to say,
yeah.
I went to a club event in LA.
Don't even get me
But
started.
that's LA.
Yeah.
You know what though? I mean, and I almost had to refinance the house.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Just to
I
park.
don't mind expensive parking. You go to a Kings game, you spending $150 on the ticket, parking $50. Okay. You go to a Celtics game,
I see what
parking
you're saying,
$100.
The disparity
but you
between
paid $200. But when I could walk into a facility for $15, I'm paying more to park outside than to actually see the main attraction. That's a little backwards. I had a problem with that.
I feel you on that.
I had a little problem with that. But you know what I had the biggest problem with? And people gonna get upset with me, but I don't care. I'm about 3 hours and 50 minutes away from my weekend. Headed to Vegas tomorrow. The biggest problem I had was with the fan base out there. Here's what I'm talking about, Jay and High Flyer.
And we went round and around with this Wednesday.
Yes. And I'm gonna call out A's fans right now.
All right.
Why am I sitting there in West Sacramento and I hear "Let's Go Oakland" chants? Why do I need to hear that? Because here's why, High Flyer. It's not about drapes. It's not about Lil Nick and Quinn sitting next to me. The players on the field deserve better. Not only from the organization, not only from the fan base, also from the media, including me. These are major league athletes, and when they out there playing baseball and they hear "Let's Go Oakland," they're like, we're not in Oakland. These players deserve better all the way around. Those the people I feel bad for. Sorry, fans, I'm not on your side right now. I understand the hatred for John Fisher. But these players deserve better. And the sell chants and the let's go Oakland chants, all that does is make the players feel worse. There's no reason. There's no wonder why their record is what it is, high flyer. When you ain't even got a city, a town, a fan base pulling for you.
Can I chime in?
Yeah.
It starts one place and one place only. That's across the chest of what you wearing. It should be Sacramento.
High flyer, we all know that. Come on, man.
But I'm just saying.
Dude, you put stuff on the bottom shelf. Come on, Big. I'm trying to elevate this.
No, I'm saying, but it should be. You talk about the players feel good. How can you say Oakland if it says Sacramento across the jersey?
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
You can't say let's go Oakland and Sacramento across the jersey.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's not on the jersey.
But that's okay. That's a separate argument. You're right. It should be set. We all in agreement with that. But it's not. How about let's go Athletics? Let's go A's. You pay your hard-earned money to come there.
That too.
Who you paying money to come there and support?
That too.
The players. And if you say let's go Oakland or South, like how can they focus and lock in when they running out and all you hear is let's go Oakland or sell. You can't lock in fully 100% as a player. That's what I'm saying. And if you argue with me that these players don't deserve better.
No, I'm not arguing with you. I'm with you. But what I'm saying is that you got A's on the jersey. You got A's on the hat. You need Sacramento. You would look stupid as a fan screaming, let's go Oakland. And I'm from the town.
Yeah.
Born and raised. Love it. You would look stupid saying, let's go Oakland, if you saw Sacramento across the jersey. That's what I'm saying. The respect needs to come in right there.
That's Drape's take, Shay. You can cut to me. I want to hear what Jay got to say about this. He an A's fan. Am I wrong for going at A's fans? And not only A's fans. The media also, including me sitting right here. I'm sitting there watch these guys play hard. My boy Luis Severino dealing out there through 5 innings. Of course, the bullpen let him down after that. And I'm thinking, nobody even talking about these dudes. We ain't even talking about whether they won or lost. We're not talking about the great stories behind the scenes of the players. Like, these players deserve better. And people say, well, Drapes, they make thousands and hundreds of millions of dollars.
True.
So
but they deserve more.
But they deserve more, man.
Right.
They didn't ask to be put in this situation. And the only time it seems like when the A's are talked about on social media, on this radio station, as well on this show, is when it's about attendance numbers or John freaking Fisher. Why don't we start talking about the walk-off we had last night, the product on the field, the young talent that we have coming up through the organization? The players deserve better. That's my take right there, High Flyer. It ain't about John Fisher and all that, Vivek and everything. It's about the damn players. They deserve better.
I will agree with you on that. No gripe here, sir.
All right, let's move on. Jay, you got anything to add on that?
I got nothing for you, big time. Okay. It's Drape's takes, baby.
It's your
Drake
world,
takes.
baby.
I will say this, though.
Here we go.
I'm not even touching the, sale and all that. The ticket versus the parking value, as much as I hear what you're saying, isn't that a good thing for us consumers? Like, we ain't got to buy, a expensive ticket.
I hear you, but the problem is, Jay, when you're driving, you're like, oh, snap, I got the hookup on these tickets. I got $15, $25 tickets. So you think you on the come up. And then you get there, you get smacked with the $30. What?
But you know going in.
I didn't know it was 30.
When you pull up in the EQ, you know you parking up
like
close.
15, something like that. 20.
Where is parking $15 at these days?
Hey,
I don't know. I ain't paid for the fairgrounds, Expo Center, Cal Expo.
Cal Expo 10-15.
Hey,
there you go.
Yeah.
Fellas, is a thing called light rail.
Right. I was going to say.
Light rail will get you there.
Take our great public transportation to Sacramento, man.
If it's hurting your pockets, light rail will get you there.
I paid it, man, begrudgingly. No, because, dude, I'm like.
So wait a minute. You look at the parking valet and you say what to him or her?
No, this was generic. This wasn't even the closest lot, Jay.
Oh, you parked like on the street type of parking structure?
They had the reserve parking and then the other. That's where I was. So
you didn't even have to deal with an attendant. It's one of the machines.
I did do it online.
The
attendant. Yeah. No, I wanted to say something to him, but everybody else was paying it. So
can you picture KD pulling up? Hey man, how much is it? $30?
No, not today. Not today. No, because
a ticket $15.
Right. What? $15 for the ticket. I actually paid, I think, $30. But this is the point I'm trying to make.
I get what you said.
I don't know any place where the ticket is cheaper and it was behind home plate, Jay. This wasn't up in, lawn seats or anything. These were good seats. Usually you don't have parking more expensive than the ticket. I'm just not used to that.
More than the event, man.
More than the event.
But it happens in places where the team is struggling. Like I just went to the White Sox game. I took, as HT said, I took the L. I mean, obviously I don't live there. And the wife had to run a car. Okay, so I jump on the L, right? Okay. But as I was walking by looking at the parking, their parking was $50-$60. The ticket I bought was $30, and I was down the third base line.
Why do you think that is? Is it a way to recoup some of the money or something like that? Or is it a different
because a lot of times
operator,
And you know this coming from Boston, Robert Kraft controlled parking around Foxborough Stadium for a long time,
right?
Before he even owned the Patriots,
and that's money right there.
And that's part of the reason why John Fisher. We've talked about that. It's part of the reason why John Fisher wants some controlling stakes around the Oakland A's new ballpark as well, and every owner does. Hence why we talk about they build ballparks outside of downtown now. You can build your own city and you control all the narrative around there, but that's part of it. We don't know who owns that parking. The A's, obviously, John Fisher doesn't own that park.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a Vivek thing. I don't know, what private company, because I haven't done the research on it, or maybe to see who owns that park.
Or maybe the county or the city.
I doubt they do.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I doubt based off of the prior ownership to Vivek. I think part of the structures that they built was private compared to public around there.
Okay.
But I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they controlled their own parking.
I would love to hear from the people out there. I know everybody going on vacation, getting off work and early and everything, but hit us up, 916-339-1140. You can also text us at 916-339-1140. I want to know, am I wrong for expecting parking to at least be a little cheaper than the ticket? And two, should A's fans really be chanting, "Let's go Oakland"? In West Sacramento.
But HT, let me ask you guys a question.
All right, come on.
Real fast.
Come with it.
So let's just say the tickets, even through the original seller, like how the Kings use Ticketmaster. Okay. The original seller brings the tickets down. And let's just say they doing, just like the A's have done, 2 for $20.
Okay.
Are they supposed to then say, you know what, parking's $5?
Like we said, we don't even know who owns
it. Right. But let's just say the team does.
Okay.
The team owns it.
Oh, that's never going to happen.
So,
hey, they will give you 2 for $1 and a hot dog before they break
you to the parking, right?
Before they break that parking down.
So exactly. I'm trying to get where you coming from, Trace, because what you're walking into when you go to an event.
But I didn't expect $30.
Really?
I didn't. $30, $20, $25, $30. But
it was 40 in the town.
My issue is this, Jay.
And you might get bit.
You paying more. I know.
that much is true.
You paying more to park your vehicle in an open lot than you are to see athletes perform.
I got you, man.
Like it is what it is. And you write the resale market and all that and everything. It caught me off guard. Let me say that. That's how it is. That's how it is. That's how it is everywhere. That's how it is. I just totally forgot about parking and it could be that expensive.
It's because you don't pay for it.
He's bougie.
More times than not. That's the thing.
If I'm in San Francisco and I'm taking my son to the All-Star Weekend,
paying a soft $100
easy. Because I'm expecting that. But when you get tickets 2 for $25, and that's why a lot of people park on the street and walk across the bridge and all that.
Right.
Because, 30 is 30.
Hey, You could have easily took that side.
I could have.
If it was too much for you,
Doug. If it wouldn't have been 8 cars behind me, I might have hit the reverse button.
Hey, you should have said, open up.
Yeah,
open the lane
up,
for
right.
me.
hey, can I bust a Yui right here?
Right. Now it was 633-911-40. All right, man. I just had to get that off my chest. Now it's all good vibes here. I want to talk about Game 7 coming up on Sunday. I did not think we would be here, big fella. I thought OKC was going to handle their business last night, 108-91. Shout out to the Indiana Pacers, dude.
Can I say this?
Go for it.
We talked about it. I said straight out. I said Oklahoma has the better team in my mind, the way I see it. I said, but it's something to be said about the will to win, Jay. I said Tyrese Halliburton and the Indiana Pacers have a huge will to win. They go out, man. They play. They get down 20. They never stop coming. I'm telling you, Indiana, man, they might be primed. It's going to be tough. It's going to be an uphill battle to go into OKC and win one. But those dudes play to the end.
And listening to you, you clearly weren't surprised.
No.
No. I mean, I was in this regard. I thought the Pacers could win. They smacked OKC around.
KD, it's a whole different mentality. Okay, we understand. The finals is a 7-game series. But when you looking at, we in our hometown and we can get ran out the building. They can celebrate on our home floor. When your back is against the wall like that, bro, if you got anything pumping in your veins, you coming out like a caged lion. No. It ain't going to happen here. Now, they might get blown out in Oklahoma.
Right, they might.
Right. They might get smacked in OKC, but I tell you what, you're not going to walk in here and do it.
In our building.
Right.
Ain't going to be no confetti and
none of that.
Celebrations.
Not on this floor. But they got a good grind out type team. And you look at the players on the Indiana Pacers, man, those dudes, you really don't have no prima donnas on that team. They are grinded out, work hard players, the young players, all the way to Pascal Siakam. Obi Toppin had to work for everything that he had to get. Even Tyrese Halliburton slid in the first round, didn't give him anything. You don't have no prima donnas. You got a bunch of guys on that basketball team that's willing to go out and prove themselves.
Yeah, they've had to earn everything they've gotten so far. And shout out to our guy, Tyrese Halliburton, 14 points, 5 assists, had the play of the game, High Flyer. Did you see the steal? The look away pass, Siakam with the hammer on J-Dub. That's going to be one, especially if the Pacers win it. That play, like LeBron's chase down block of Iguodala, that play we're going to be seeing for a long time coming.
You know what? You know why I like that play so well, KD? It was a steal.
Yes.
A pass falling out of bounds, a pass back to Tyrese, a pass to Siakam, and a pass to the corner without the ball even touching the ground. The ball didn't touch the ground. That's how you run a fast break. That's old school break. That's Magic Johnson in the Showtime fast break Lakers.
Right.
The ball don't touch the ground. Nobody took the ball and dribble.
Yeah.
Everything was advanced by the pass.
Let me move it up.
Get it up court quick.
Do you think OKC lost that game, or did the Pacers take it from them?
Oh, no. Indiana took that. I
don't know, High Flyer.
No. Indiana took that. Okay. I'll give it 80-20.
Okay.
I'll give it 80-20. Indiana took the game. OKC didn't come out and play the type of defense that we saw in game 2.
Right. That's what, yeah.
You didn't see the swarm in Oklahoma defense, all blue jerseys in the paint like it was in game 2. Oklahoma came out and played the game like they knew they had a game 7.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I feel like OKC didn't even put their foot on the gas pedal, really. They were playing too cool out there. The play that we just talked about, watch J-Dub, watch Lou Dort. They jogging back. Dog, if I'm Mark Dagnall, I'm clipping that video and I'm showing it today because you've been in the film rooms, I've been in film rooms. That's one thing that players think they're playing hard. They think they're running fast. But then you pull up the tape don't lie, High Flyer. I thought OKC played like a team that did not have their backs against the wall.
They didn't.
They knew they had one at home still.
Yep, they knew they had a game 7. But I tell you what, you didn't see that out of Indiana.
Right.
You talk about how did Indiana win this game? Did they take the game? Come on, man. You got dudes diving on the floor, diving in the audience, doing whatever it took to win that game.
Shout out to the Pacers, man. Shout out to them. The question now is, and we're going to talk about this coming up in the next segment. The dude for the Pacers is Tyrese Halliburton.
One.
But we got to put some respect on Pascal Siakam.
I was about to say, Tyrese is one of the guys. Tyrese is the pretty face.
Right.
Now, if you want to get down to the grit and grind, you go to Pascal Siakam. And if you look at the heart and soul, TJ McConnell.
Man, don't get me started on TJ McConnell.
TJ McConnell is the heart and soul of that team.
I'm about to lock that dude up myself. I go out there and lock him up. How is this guy being so effective on the highest of stages? TJ McConnell. Bro, I see 10 TJ McConnells at Folsom Lifetime every week, High Flyer. How's this guy doing it?
Because he understands that you don't have to be a giant to play this game. You just got to have the heart of one. And, bro, that dude heart is probably big as this city. He don't back down from nobody. His game never stops. You watch TJ McConnell out there on the floor. His play does never stop. He never stops moving. He's always probing in and out, in and out. Same thing on the defensive side. He knows that his game, for him to even be in the NBA, is predicated on how hard he plays every night.
All right, we got more with the High Flyer and Jay coming up here on the Drive Guy, Sacktown Sports 1140. Coming up, if OKC loses, is this the biggest upset in the last in our generation? 60 out. Don't answer that question, High Flyer. This is called a tease, baby. We bounce it back here on the Drive Guy, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, inviting you to come join them every Wednesday for their midweek madness drawing, giving away $2,000 in total cash starting at 6 p.m. It's a safe and friendly environment, plenty of well-lit parking available, and it's conveniently located right there in downtown Sacramento. And remember, best food, best service, best games, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
We get it. Tariffs are tough. Power tools are getting expensive. But at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, we're solving that problem for 2 short days on June 20th and June 21st. We're putting all-to-all power tools on massive discount. Batteries for less than $100. Combo kits for under $150. 20% off all regular price Tough System boxes and much, much more. So stop by Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet in Sacramento on June 20th and 21st for some of the lowest prices on tools you'll ever see this year. To see all of what's on sale, visit fastenersinc.net. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices.
Brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Navy Federal can help you find and finance the right vehicle with ease. With Navy Federal's car buying service, powered by TrueCar, you can find the vehicle that's right for you as you search through inventory and compare models. And you could get an amazing rate when you finance with Navy Federal. Visit NavyFederal.org/TrueCar to learn more. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA. Credit and collateral subject to approval.
If you need to hire, you know it takes time. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You simply pick a time and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day.
Try Zip Intro for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
Whitey here for Napoleon Grills, reminding you that when buying a new grill, every detail matters. While supplies last, you'll receive a $149 gift with purchase on every new Napoleon Prestige stainless steel grill. The kit even includes a Pizza Lover starter kit and much more. And now up to $79 off Napoleon Rogue models. Napoleon grills are built different, built better, built to last, with a lifetime warranty and premium steel that boasts amazing quality. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
Trey Songz, live. All the hits, all in one night. Trey Songz. Friday, June 20th, the venue at Thunder Valley. with special guest Jeremiah. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com and see the show. Trey Songz, Friday, June 20th, for venue at Thunder Valley.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Cash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Tickets and info at CITPFest.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
If you're not looking for a brand new car, at Elk Grove Honda, we've acquired some of the best pre-owned cars we can find. We've kept only the best of our trades, and our buyer has found some of the finest pre-owned Hondas available in Northern California. You can see for yourself at elkgrovehonda.com. Whether you purchase a brand new Honda or a like-new pre-owned Honda, your car buying experience will be the same. We have the right Honda at the right price. You'll find us in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 and Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Flashback Friday here on the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports 11-4. I see you looking at me, high five.
I'm like, what you know about Michelle, man? You East Coast guy.
Yeah. Oh, I got it on a playlist right here.
You what? Michelle?
Yeah, hold up. Jay, can you school this dude?
I mean, you East Coast guy.
You obviously ain't been listening to the Drive Guys.
No. We just went through our top 5 the other day, and you was heavy on the East Coast side.
I'm going to let Jay vouch
for what the 80s were, but Drapes is, and this is, we all know these type of people. Drapes is the East Coast guy who loved the West Coast music, who put on in the East Coast for us.
All right.
I was riding. He was riding. Hey. Yeah, he was rocking with us for a while.
Michelle number 1 tone all time.
You like her voice?
Love it.
You like that voice?
Michelle's number 1 tone.
Number 1 song?
Yeah. And it ain't nicety.
I like this one the best. No More Lies. I like that.
No More Lies, but it's not the
what's the best?
Something in my heart.
Nah, see, come on, that's a little too soft. That's a little too soft.
That's her number 1 song.
Yo, hey, high five. I'm used to rocking Timberland boots and stuff. I don't need
now
that
the East Coast
stuff.
come out. Now the East Coast come out. That's what I'm talking about right there. Soon as something go wrong, he go back to nah, son. That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, that's number 3.
You know what? Love Michelle. You know, yes. I honestly thought that if she didn't get caught up in the ruthless death row, whatever they had going on, she would have had a hell of a career.
Yeah, she got caught up in that. Huh?
Yes, she did. Yeah, she got backlogged.
Yeah, she got caught up on that. 916-339-1140 talking NBA Finals. Coming up a little later, who was that put out that list, Jay? Billboard top R&B singers of all time.
Oh, of all time.
All time. Woo! I'm going to give you who I think should be in the top 5.
All time.
Oh, we're going to go through their top 5. I'm going to tell you why they're wrong, why they are wrong.
Wow.
I'm going to tell you why I'm right. That's coming up in just a little bit. 5:30. That's coming up at 5:30. High five. That's coming. But back to last night, man. And I was talking about Pascal Siakam. And as I was driving in, I was thinking, Tyrese getting all the sizzle, all the steak, making the highlight plays.
Yeah.
But Pascal Siakam,
come on, man, is the dude.
I tell you what, he gonna be a Hall of Famer.
You know what?
They get this done. He's a Hall of Famer.
Hey, check this out. let's put it this way. And you love this team. You covered them for years. Celtics. Jason Tatum. He gets all the accolade, all the love, all the commercials, everything. But who was the dog on that championship team? Jaylen Brown.
JB.
It's the same thing.
Let me ask you this, though. And I do think Pascal will probably get finals MVP. I do think he will. Because he's been more consistent.
Yes.
You know.
Even when Tyrese has been up and down, bar injury or whatever, but still, through the whole scenario, that dude has been there. Whether they won or lost,
right?
He's been there.
He's been there. He's elevated his game, and he's been the rock. But we were talking in the text chat, and because Gilbert Arenas made an interesting point on First Take earlier today. They were talking about rings culture and everything LeBron said.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to know, and I'm going to play this Gilbert Arenas sound coming up in just a second here. I wanted to know, do you need the man? Do you need to be the man, the top dog, the finals MVP, your team, for a ring to really be a part of your legacy?
No.
No, hold up. Don't answer it, Kai Flyer, because I want you to listen to what Gilbert Arenas said.
Okay.
Here's what he had to say earlier.
Like, when did ring culture become a thing, right? When you talk about a team award, something that a structure needs to win, does not boost you in front of individual accomplishments. And when you used Kobe, what frowned upon what LeBron said, I would disagree with that.
Got you.
I would disagree with that.
I remember what I said there.
In real time, Kobe had 3 rings. Y'all wasn't treating him like a 3-ring player. You were treating him like a sidekick. He was considered a sidekick. He was considered a Robin. He was considered the next Pippen. In 2002, with 3 rings, we were still comparing T-Mac. Who was better in the league? You couldn't convince the NBA down the middle who was better. So
between
T-Mac and Cole.
Totally true. Totally
right?
true.
So if you're sitting there with 3 rings and you're still being compared to someone who doesn't have rings, what do you think happened? I need individual accomplishments. Can you please get rid of Shaq? Right? Because if it was about rings, there was no reason for the fallout with him and Shaq. The fallout was about you only respect the driver of the car. No one respects the passenger of rings. Right? There's no one says it, but the one who's leading the one who's leading the team, that's the gold member right there. That ring counts. The second option ring, that's silver when no one respects it. In history, no one has respected.
Scottie Pippen's
You got Scottie Pippen with 6 rings. That's ranked on the all-time list 32. Right? You got people that don't have rings that's in front of them. So what LeBron is saying is like, wait a minute, when did we take away your greatness as a player and use team structured awards? Right? Because then you're only talking about if you get drafted to Boston, Los Angeles, like what, half of the league came from big cities that's in more than half that's in the top 75. Right, so it's basically saying whoever has private school teaching in the organization is what wins. Because these public school players down in Memphis, Minnesota, you have a hard time.
There you go, High Flyer. And I know Gilbert Arenas, in this town, his name is Mud. We all know that. But he makes a good point. How come Michael Jordan 6 rings means he's the GOAT?
No.
Scottie Pippen 6 rings means he's 31-32.
No, I will say this. I will definitely say this. And you know, Gilbert Arenas does go off the chain and go off the board.
Yeah.
But I will say this, like you said, Michael Jordan got 6 rings. Michael Jordan wouldn't have 6 rings without Scottie Pippen. Straight out. Yeah. Kobe got 5 rings. He got 5.
Yep.
Kobe wouldn't have those rings without Shaq and Paul Gasol. You can't do it by yourself. You could be great by yourself, but you have to have some other players along with you. Tim Duncan wouldn't have it without Emmanuel Ginobili and Tony Parker. Right. So, you know, ring culture goes so far, but it has nothing to do with your greatness as a player.
What? That's the only reason LeBron ain't better than Jordan is because Jordan got 6 rings, High Flyer.
No,
that's the argument.
No, it's not. You know what? I have put down the argument. I told you right now, LeBron has done everything that Jordan has done, even more. But when it comes down to your peers, the guys that you go up against, I told you, dudes feared Jordan. Nobody fears LeBron.
They were lame. Fearing Michael Jordan. I ain't fearing no Michael Jordan.
Put on your 10 boots, dog.
Jay, you want to weigh in, man? What you got?
I understand what HT is talking about, but the tough part, HT, is this. How can you get, and we've seen the new generations, the new era, right?
Right.
You've been around them, you've interviewed them, you talked to them, you see them coming in and out of the locker room for the last 20, 25, 30 years, whatever case may be. With that being said, we've seen some of the new generation talk about, Paul George is the greatest of all time. That was a joke a couple years ago where they were asking people in the draft, and a few people were like, "Oh, Paul George is the best." And like, what? Different eras won't be able to fear Michael Jordan.
Right.
Like if I'm Ant Edwards, I'm not fearing Michael Jordan at all. All I'm doing is hearing about what you've told me as a veteran.
But what I'm saying is that their peers. I'm saying you're right. A lot of people that, like I said, Ant won't even know how
ferocious Michael Jordan was.
How the look that Michael gave players and how a little trickle of pee went down their back of their leg when he walked into the arena. He will never understand that. Just like Michael Jordan didn't never understand how dudes feared Wilt. He was a man among boys. That has a lot to do with the era that you play in. But what I'm saying is that, like in today's game, KD just said, Tyrese Halliburton, flashy. He comes down, he makes the no-look pass to who? Pascal Siakam, who dunks the ball home. If Pascal Siakam don't dunk that ball down the way he did, that no-look pass means nothing. So you got to have those dudes.
But I think that's the point is as Gilbert is saying, those dudes don't get the same respect as the driver in the car.
For instance,
Pippen doesn't get the same respect. Coach Rodman, certain people don't get the same respect as Michael Jordan.
I've always said, now Michael's my GOAT, but you just heard me say Michael would not have those rings without Scottie. He had to have Scottie Pippen. On some nights, Scottie was the man on the floor. When Detroit was beating the hell out of Jordan, Scottie Pippen was the one that picked it up.
So why is Scottie so disrespected in certain ways?
31 or 32 on the
why is he not top 10?
That I don't know, because he's in my top 10. He is in my top 10. Michael is going to always be Michael because of what he done. Scottie Pippen is right there with him.
I'm going to cut you off here because I want to bring up a name, and we'll talk about him coming up after this short break. Kevin Durant.
Mm-hmm.
He teamed up with Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
How come his 2 rings ain't where it should be? They ain't. How come he's not a top 10 all time? He got 2 rings because it was Steph's team. We'll talk about it. High flyer. Hold that thought right here. We're back here on the Drive, guys. Sacktown Sports 1140.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck, and she's proud of that. Jane's secret, AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes, but when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed. From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
It's what you wait for all week. The 3-pointers, the rebounds, the thrill of every shot. Win or lose, it's the hope that keeps you coming back. The dream that this time, it might be your year. And so you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when the pressure's on, your support is everything. That's why the NBA store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. a bananas experience.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you text radio to 64,000. That's radio to 64,000.
With great deals coming this Prime Day, July 8th through the 11th, greatness is a deal away. So if you love baking, you can get a deal on a new mixer, transforming you into the Lord of the Loaves.
Hear ye! Make way for the badding of brioche, the sultan of sourdough, the Lord of the Loaves, Prime Member Dave!
Yeah, hi?
Shop great deals this Prime Day, July 8th through the 11th.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip, if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Giant Summer Sale and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda!
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop!
Gamers and baseball fans, get ready. On Saturday, June 28th, it's video game night with the Sacramento Rivercats. Don't miss the perfect blend of gaming and baseball. Get your tickets at rivercats.com.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Man, Jay playing all the classics here. Giving up for the alcoholics here on the Drive, guys. Sacktown Sports 40. Come on, man. I was into this too. I'm telling, hey, okay. These playlists right here, you would be shocked. Shocked, I say, of what's on this playlist here.
You know what? I'm not going to judge you by the playlist.
Not going to judge me by the playlist?
No. I'm going to judge you by this all-time R&B singer. I'm going to judge you so hard, bro. You better have it right.
Well, I'm going to give you a little preview.
You better have it right.
There's some people on their top 50 list
Shouldn't even be on there.
Shouldn't even be on
I'm
there,
with
in
you.
my opinion.
I'm with you.
Shouldn't even be on there, Jay.
100% with you.
Right. We got to find what R&B is, obviously,
Exactly.
right? Because they
Truth.
might not know. Billboard might not know what R&B is. And so we're going to talk about it. We're going to get there.
I got you.
We're going to get there.
But
That's
I'm telling you, boy, but hey, my knife going to be sharp.
I got that for you.
Got that Ginsu.
I know he got
Yeah.
that. Cha-ching, Ginsu. He ready. That's coming up at 5:30 back here on the Drive, guys. Sacktown Sports 1140. We're talking about rings culture. And, you know, I posed the question, if you're the secondary guy, how come rings aren't factored into your legacy as much as the top dog? Gilbert Arenas brought this up. And I brought up Kevin Durant.
Yep.
Kevin Durant's a two-time champ.
Twice.
Two-time finals MVP.
One of the best scorers that have walked on an NBA floor.
But yet, I feel like his career is still, he's still not in that one of those dudes categories because some people say it was Steph Curry's team. I go back to what you said last segment. If Kevin Durant ain't on the Warriors, Steph Curry ain't got those rings. So how come Steph Curry ain't got 4 high flag if Durant ain't on there?
No. I agree.
Okay.
I agree. But I tell you what, here's the deal. And this is why people look different at Kevin Durant than some other players. We talk about this all the time and we argue about it. You know, this new era basketball player Kevin Durant didn't win a thing until he had to run to Golden State and jump on the bandwagon because they had won prior.
You know why?
They won without Kevin
High-Fly.
They won without Kevin Durant.
That's disrespectful.
They won without Kevin.
You know why?
They won without Kevin.
Tracy McGrady made this point today.
They won without Kevin,
You're
KD.
right. But listen to this point.
Steph didn't need KD. KD needed Steph.
Steph needed KD.
No, that's why they ran over there.
Steph needed KD.
No, he didn't.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
Tracy McGrady made this point, and I 1,000% agree.
What's that?
He talked about Kobe and Shaq and those titles.
Okay.
Kobe's viewed as one of the GOATs.
Mm-hmm.
If you put T-Mac with Shaq,
same thing.
But that has nothing to do with the individual basketball player.
It doesn't.
It's about who you surround yourself with.
Exactly.
You got to be on a great team.
But here's the deal. Let me ask you this. See, this is the difference. Kobe had to make a serious presence to go out and win one with Shaq, without Shaq. Remember, Kobe said, that was my main thing. To make myself legitimate, I had to go out and win one without Shaq. Because Shaq got one without Kobe.
If we being honest, Kobe a little bit overrated, and here's why.
Oh, boy. You know what?
Let's look at the years.
I'm gone.
Let's look at the years. Look at the years after Shaq, before Pau Gasol. What's that? 2006.
He needed somebody else.
2007.
True.
Yeah, those couple of years, he was looking to tap out. He was running to Chicago. He was running to the Clippers. He was looking to tap out.
He needed some other players to win.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
No player has won a championship by themselves.
But that's the point right there.
But what I'm saying is that,
so how come AI can't be a top 10 player of all time? How come Steve Nash, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing can't be a top 10 player of all time?
I'm not saying that they can't. I'm talking about the stigma of having that ring. Kobe had to go out and get that ring and show that he could win one without Shaq. Shaq ran straight to D-Wade. Okay? Shaq ran straight to Miami and got him a championship. But I tell you what, he had Dwayne Wade, another dog, with him.
That's a high flyer.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
You tell me a champion that didn't have another dude with him.
No, I'm saying KD.
You got to have that.
You
and
do.
If you leave it to the organization to get that other dude for you, you'll be ringless like Dominique.
Hey,
you'll be ringless like Barkley.
But listen,
you'll be ringless like Steve Nash.
That's why I'm saying people look at KD differently, because Golden State had won 2 rings prior to KD getting there. So
only one, high flyer. Only one.
Are you sure?
Okay. Only one.
Okay. They had won prior before KD got there, right? KD looked and said, who's the best team around? Because I'm ready to jump. I want a championship. Oh, I'm going to go to Golden State.
That's not his fault, high flyer.
No, I'm not saying this is his fault. But I'm just saying why people look at him and say, when it comes down to his 2 championships. Because he had to go find and manufacture a team. Now, if Steph would have came to OKC, right, with KD there, people would look at it a lot different. People look at Steph like, yeah, Steph, you had to run from Golden State and go to KD, huh? But that's what it is. You know, we talk about these guys now that they want to manufacture these super teams. Oh, you my buddy, we're gonna get together and we're gonna win a championship. That's why a lot of people look at certain players and saying, yeah, dude, you got a championship, but you had to go run to go get it.
Compio makes a point here on the YouTube chat. Shout out to Compio, loyal listener. And this is why players run to form those super teams, where KD goes to link up with Steph Curry. I'm editorializing here. Compio says you need a championship to claim to be in GOAT status. So
100%.
But it wasn't always like that.
Because you know why? Because for a long time, and you've covered this league for a long time. Mm-hmm. For a long time, it was only LA and Boston in the championship every year. Mm-hmm. So it was only those players on those teams were getting those championships. And then you sprinkled in 2 to Detroit. Okay. You sprinkled in 2 to Houston. And then all of a sudden, okay, San Antonio got on a heater and they got theirs. But the thing about it is that to have a championship under your belt shouldn't mean you shouldn't be in one of, let's say, the GOAT conversation, okay? Because this is where we're going, the GOAT conversation. T-Mac is in the GOAT conversation.
To who? To players or media? Because he's not in media. He's not in the GOAT conversation.
I would say players. I would say players. Because
I love T-Mac. I think he is a beast.
If T-Mac teamed up with Shaq.
Oh,
he
had championships. They had championships, no doubt.
You know what? And I'll even give it to Penny Hardaway, who had Shaq.
Yeah.
If they would have stayed together a couple more years, Shaq even said it himself.
Yeah, they'd have won.
If they would have stayed together a couple more years, they would have won. But the thing about it is that, those guys, I always bring up San Antonio. They had a dynasty, straight dynasty. But those three guys were drafted to San Antonio. Nobody went out and said, hey, go get that guy. He's my dude. I know we can win with him. No, San Antonio did their due diligence and brought those guys together, sprinkling a couple of more free agents and made a dynasty. It wasn't one of those things where, hey, you go hang out with him in the summertime. We just seen it with Jake LaRavia. Jake LaRavia hanging out down in L.A.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk. But this is my issue with that. And you're 100% right, High Flyer. You're right, Jay, on this. But why are we okay when the organization builds a super team, builds a dynasty, but when a player takes control of his own career and does it, why are we okay with the man doing it, but not the individual player?
And you know what? That's a hell of a question. Because, if you look at it on ground level, in which, you and I are both ground level guys.
Yep.
We put our Timbs on the floor, right?
Right.
Put our boots on the ground. The thing about it is that it should be the exact same thing, because I look at it like this. Why is it when a team trade a player, it's okay, but when the player requests a trade, everybody's up in arms?
Yeah.
Right. It's the exact same thing. You're right. It should be even across the board.
It should be. 916-339-1140 if you want to weigh in on this conversation. But coming up next, we got to talk about Jake LaRavia. Is this dude hanging with the enemy? Is he cavorting with the enemy, or whatever the word you want to use, hanging out with Austin Reeves? I got to get High Flyers' take on that. It's the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hello, I'm Frank Cockworth, Retirement Security Centers with a weekly economic update. Could a slow spring in residential real estate sales mean that lower home prices may be coming? For many years, the issue with residential real estate was the lack of inventory, with buyers outnumbering sellers. Treating a low mortgage rate for today's higher rates and prices could be a deterrent. This is sometimes called the lock-in effect. Home prices have increased by over 20% since 2021. 63% of prospective buyers state that mortgage rates currently at 6.89% would have to drop below 5% for them to consider buying a home. Sellers are currently outpacing buyers at the highest level since 2013. Redfin is actually predicting a 1% drop in home prices in 2025. This could mean that a buyer with means to cover a higher mortgage could marry the home but date the mortgage, waiting for lower rates to refinance and lower their payment in later years. These buyers may be able to dictate terms to the seller, allowing them to get into the home of their dreams with a potential drop in monthly costs in the coming years. How about this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Mosaic Wealth, member FINRA SIPC. Mosaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Mosaic Wealth.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
Progressive knows when you own a boat or RV, it's like you're automatically on vacation, even if you're actually a marriage counselor in the middle of couples therapy. But in your mind, you're camping in Acadia, puttering around Frenchman Bay. Your boat and RV are both protected. You're lobster drenched in butter and... Uh-oh, did your clients just notice you weren't listening? Quick, do the thing where you just repeat back exactly what they said, but as a question. They bought it. Now back to Maine, earning an automatic discount bundling your boat or RV with your home or auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for the Employee Pricing Plus sales event?
Anyone can get you employee pricing, but at Hoblet, it's all about the plus that you can only get here.
Save up to $13,000 off MSRP on brand new 2025 heavy-duty Ram 2500 and 3500s. We have over 500 new Rams available, so your new Ram is waiting at Hoblet.
Well, how do you like the new heavy-duty trucks?
I love it. I took the new Ram 2500 with the high-output diesel and 8-speed transmission to Tahoe last weekend, and I have to say, I've not had this much fun driving a new truck in a long time. I've been driving diesels for 25 years, and this is easily the most fun, most powerful, and most responsive truck so far.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at hobletdodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
13,000 total net savings on select new 2025 Ram 2500 and 3500 Laramie after 4,000 factory rebates and 9,000 dealer discounts. Rebates may include 2,500 select inventory bonus cash and $500 on the job upfit. Must show eligible upfit. Aid with this net savings. Sample VIN 525043. See dealer for details.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sacktown Sports 1140. Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
First of all, you got to have money just in order to be a honey. But hey, that's down my line, cause I like a girl that's fine. Give her everything that she wants. Golden money so she can flaunt and show that she got Gucci, Louis Vuitton. MCM styles of every kind. Make a design, I'll paint us. This girl, man, you gotta just see her. Sooner or later, she'll be my wife, and that's when she'll live the glamorous life.
Back here on the Drive, guys. You know what? I'm gonna put some people to the test. Okay. Jay already know who this is.
The Glamorous Life?
Who's this?
It's Chile.
It's the hip hop version. People on the text line, the YouTube chat, 916-339-1140. Please tell High Flyer who this is.
This song must not be called The Glamorous Life.
It is. It's the remake, yo. That's
Okay,
the hip hop version.
Okay, but that's Chile singing in the background, The Glamorous Life.
Nah, she had her version.
Okay,
This is a different one.
Okay, all right. I'm just
You want me to tell him, Jay? You want me? This Philly's finest.
Yes, sir.
Representing PHILLY, Philadelphia. My man, Cool C.
Grew
up on this, bro. This is in my wheelhouse right there.
All right.
So let me ask you this.
What's up?
If I'm an East Coast guy knowing about West Coast, how come you're West Coast? Well, I'm not going to put Jay in there. How come you ain't up on the East Coast stuff like I was?
You know what? East Coast had so many dudes.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay.
I mean, everybody was that guy in their city.
Yeah.
You know, if you wasn't publicized as one of the, the mainstream dudes, you kind of got like lost in the shuffle unless you were from Philly. You knew who that was.
Cool C.
That was a big hit. I remember actually.
No, I remember
because that was that was in the beginning of music videos.
Yeah,
and and he was walking down the street, and it was like it reminded me like of a video game. Cool C that song definitely was one of those songs. It was a one-hit wonder.
Jay, don't disrespect.
He's a one-hit wonder.
Juice nationally, down to the gristle.
See, he probably didn't heard more songs from him because he's from Philly.
Right. All right.
I mean, that's like right now, KD. I got some songs you ain't never heard of Too Short.
Yeah, you probably do. You're right. You probably do.
I got some cassettes.
That's some B-sides.
He used to sling them at school. It's like people like, yeah, I got every last one of Short songs.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. You got the ones.
You had to be in the town to get those tapes.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. All right. Hey, coming up at the next hour, 4:00. I don't know if you saw this on the rundown. Story time with High Flyer. I want to hear some stories, whether it's about Too Short, Gary Payton, Michael Jordan, whoever. We're gonna open it up to you, big fella.
That's cool. We can roll with it.
We're going to get into that coming up in just a little bit. You brought up Jake LaRavia a segment or two ago. And Jay, you got that sound coming up here. Jake LaRavia is our guy. He's a card collector. We want to re-sign him here in Sacramento. But he was recently on a podcast, and, athletes during their off time go on whatever podcast you want. I got no problem with that.
Right.
But it's who he was hanging out with that got me feeling a certain type of way. Here's Jake LaRavia talking about his time in Sacramento. And would he go to the Lakers?
So I cover the Lakers for Lakers Nation. Jake LaRavia, free agent. What are your thoughts on potentially joining the Los Angeles Lakers?
You see who he's with.
Austin, put in a good word for us, please.
You ain't gotta worry about it. I got it.
Austin, talk him into it, man. Come on.
No words.
That's how you play it right there. Don't give away any of your leverage.
That's a smart man right there.
That's it. Keep that.
One of my buddies sent me that clip, man. So Jake LaRavia is rolling with Austin Reeves. They sitting in the car together during, what was the name of this podcast?
Front Office Show. Friend of the show, Keith Smith and Trevor Lane.
Keith Smith, our boy Keith Smith. Keith Smith and them Trevor Lane podcast. And so a Lakers fan sent that to me. And I'm like, damn, y'all always trying to take our players. And he said, quote, big bank going big bank. You got a problem with Jake LaRavia and Austin Reeves? We're going to get into Jake's importance coming up in a minute. You got a problem with that at all?
Let me tell you this. I don't have a problem with it because you know what? I don't know the extent of their friendship. I've had friends and relatives that played on other NBA teams. And, y'all all hang out in the summertime. But I will say this. When it comes down to free agency and guys leaving and what teams are they going to pick and who are they going to stay with, who they stay true to, the one thing that I will salute Jake on is that I saw that too. Jake did say that he loved his time here in Sacramento. He very much enjoyed it. About how the city and the team embraced him. He came from Memphis and was able to come here and reinvent himself, and he thanked us for that. That's all we owe him. That's all he owes us, right? I know we want to sign him back, but KD, you have to look at it like this, and this has been going on through the test of time. You look at Jake LaRavia and you say, okay, where would you want? Let's say, for example, we're gonna play armchair GM. If the Kings offered him $30 million a year to come back, all right, then you got LA that comes to say, well, you know what, Jake, we only got 20, but you're in LA. We got probably, in Kyle Draper's mind, the GOAT, LeBron James, and the next GOAT coming down the pipe, and Luka Doncic. But you got to lose $10 million a year. What do you think he's going to do?
What he's going to do, or what I would do?
What would you think he going to do? And most players that are looking at NBA contracts, it's hard to compete with that, bro.
Nah, but high flyer.
That's why your boys say big bank. He get less money for sure. He's going to get less money to play for the Lakers, but you look at what you're walking into.
But here's the thing, high flyer, and this is where I disagree with you. First of all, the Kings are kind of hamstrung on what they can pay him. 5.1 that first year.
That's why I threw out the disparity of the money.
But here's the thing, though. When you're a player of Jake LaRavia's stature, I argue going for the money because you're not going to sign the $100 million, $200, $300 million contract. You got to get your bucks. You got to get paid.
You're going to lose money to go to LA.
He won't do that.
I guarantee you, any player
would.
To play with LeBron James and Luka Doncic. Come on, dude. Who wouldn't do that?
High five. The problem is because you don't make a whole lot relative. If you were a 70 million guy and they offered you 60, okay. But if you were 10 million guy and they offered you 4,
it ain't gonna be that.
We can only offer him 5.
Exactly. So now we're talking about, let's say, for example, we can only offer him 5, right? The Lakers, they're going to at least give him 10.
But now that's more money. Now
But what I'm saying, he's going to get more money regardless to wherever he goes because he's a well sought after player. That's why we so heartstrong saying we want to keep this guy, but we know we're underbidding for him. But even if we could play the money game, now you're looking at the player game. Who are you playing with? Now you know what? We can only give you $2 million. But we can give you incentives if you make the playoff, you make a championship. And
That's later in your career.
Who you playing
That's
with.
later in your
Bro,
career.
no, it's now.
When you're chasing titles.
No, it's
because
now.
here's the thing.
If they don't have the money to pay him.
Here's my message to Jake LaRavia and any player that is in this situation. The grass ain't always greener, Hot Fire.
It's not.
You got to take into account what the wife says. With the kid, you got to make sure she happy. That's why Giannis ain't leaving Milwaukee.
You watch.
He happy.
You watch.
He comfortable.
You watch. We can have a gentleman's bet.
That's my advice to him.
We can have a gentleman's bet right now. You let Giannis lose one more season and he gone.
Why would Giannis leave?
And he gone.
Why would Giannis
Let's
leave?
bet.
No, why would he
Gentleman's
leave?
bet.
Why would he leave?
Because he's chasing a ring just like everybody else.
Exactly.
Yes.
We shouldn't be doing that.
No, but
you
they do.
shouldn't be because it's all about the rings. Is all
but they
dictate the legacy.
Because he got the money. He ain't leaving for the money.
He already got the ring.
No, he wants another ring. That's why he would leave.
I'm saying beware. If you're Giannis, Jake LaRavia, if you find a spot where you comfortable at, Dame Lillard,
bro, I'm with
Dame
you.
Lillard, I bet you. Dame Lillard, that's your boy.
Hey.
He from the town.
Hey, I'm with
Dame
you.
Lillard would go back in a heartbeat.
I'm with you. Everything that glitters ain't gold. I call it the Sean Marion effect. Sean Marion was the man in Phoenix. Balled out, all-star. Took the money, ran to Miami. We ain't heard from him ever since. You know, I understand you want to look at the situation of where you're going, but I'm sorry, KD, when you look at, here you go, you in LA, you playing with the best NBA player that has played the game so far, and probably the next NBA player that's going to take the lead once he leaves on a team, bro, I'm gone.
Let me ask you this, though, as a player. Because playing with LeBron, one of the greatest, no doubt about it. Luka, fantastic player. But when you play in LA, when you play with LeBron, if you don't win a championship,
it's rough. It's hard.
It's hard. It's hard. Not everybody's built for that spotlight.
Nope, but I tell you what, though, you don't have to worry about nobody pointing the finger at you saying you the reason why we lost. Because LeBron taking all of that. Luka taking all of that. You ain't got to worry about that part of it. But I'm just saying, you know, we're talking about guys' legacies here. I'll tell you what, and this is me, and this is old school basketball, but I would have ran to play with George Gervin. I would have ran and played with Magic Johnson in the Lakers. I would have loved to have been on the team in New York.
But what if you happy where you at?
But what I'm saying is that if I had the chance to play with legendary players, we're talking players you only see once in a lifetime, and you got a chance to play with two of them. Come on, KD. That weighs a lot. And we're not
so
talking.
What you saying? He going to the Lakers is what you're telling me.
I'm not saying he goes to the Lakers. I'm saying that, you know, a guy like Jake LaRavia, the Lakers are going to want him. Houston's going to want him. All right. New York is going to want him. Any team that looked at Jake LaRavia and said, damn, look what he did for Sacramento coming off the bench, and he can come here and be a part of what we got going. Any one of those teams that are looking good, Boston would want him.
My boy Ramsey,
Milwaukee would want him.
Ramsey says, Giannis' wife is from Fresno. She would be happy if Giannis plays in California. I don't know about that, Ramsey. I'll tell you why. Home ain't always the best place to be. As much as I love Philly,
he wouldn't.
I ain't trying to go back to Philly.
He wouldn't be at home.
He wouldn't be. I'm not, dog. I talked to my mom about this yesterday. Every time I go back to Philly, I feel a certain type of way, and it's not a good feeling. So going home ain't always that. Dude, I don't know about you. I don't know about Jay, but I had to escape home. I ain't trying to go back.
Have you noticed? I don't live in Oakland. I love it,
right.
But I don't live in the town. But what I'm saying, though, as far as being a basketball player and an athlete and what professional city you play in, it does make a difference. We know that, KD. Mm-hmm. Don't sit here and act like, everything is equal when you start talking about playing for NBA franchises. It's not.
So players are willing to take less.
Yes.
How can we compete? Bro?
That's why it's been so hard to get players here. We understand that. That's already been documented. It's been hard to get players to come to small market teams when you got other teams that, they give them a little less money, but look at the lifestyle that they can lead. That's why everybody flocks to LA. Almost every big time player has been through LA, whether it's been on the Lakers or the Clippers. They get all the big time players because everybody wants to play in LA.
If you're Jake LaRavia, and I hear you, I'm not pushing back. I ain't doing nothing. I'm listening to you. Jake LaRavia talked about his time in Sacramento, how great it was, his connection with Doug Christie, how valuable that was, the opportunity to actually play regular minutes, which he wasn't getting in Memphis.
Right.
How much does that factor in a player's decision to stay somewhere? The fit. Forget about the city. Forget about who's signing the checks. My role on this team is bigger, and this is why I feel like the Kings do have a shot at bringing back Jake LaRavia.
I'll give you a huge example of that. We just went through it. Malik Monk. Malik Monk. Malik was coveted. A lot of teams wanted Malik, but his fit was so good here in Sacramento that he was like, you know what? I'd much rather stay here because I know where I'm at. I know how I'm playing. I like the city. But understand this, KD. That didn't come from Malik in 3 months. That came from Malik being here for a minute. Jake just touched down. He really has no roots here in Sacramento. He really appreciates Sacramento for what they've done for him, but he ain't got no roots here. It's about, okay, what's my next step going to be in my maturation in the NBA?
Do you think we need to bring Jake back?
I would love to have Jake back. Would love to have Jake back. What he brought off the bench, and I'm not talking about, the numbers he put up. I'm talking about the energy, the effort, the will to win out there on the floor. A guy that was willing to do anything to try to win a basketball game. I ride with those type of guys because I'd much rather have a guy that I have to tone down than the guy that I have to go to and rev him up. Jake was the guy that as soon as he hit the floor, you knew he was on the floor.
So you're saying he's kind of a priority, I feel like, if I'm Sacramento.
Because
those guys don't grow on trees. And once you get one of those guys,
you want to keep them.
Right.
That's why I honestly think Sacramento is looking at Jake like they really, really, really want to keep this dude, but they understand where they're stuck at on the cap, and that's killing them. That's killing them. That's like, I really, really, really want that big screen TV, but I know I only got $400 in my account.
I get you a big screen these days.
Yeah, nowadays you get a big screen, but
it ain't gonna get that 100-inch. But it's gonna get you close.
Yeah. Well, it gets you halfway there, about at 65. Yeah.
Right. With Jake though, and we know the contract situation. If you're Scott Perry, are you putting a full corporate? Like, are you flying to meet this guy? Like, what's your pitch to him to stay here in Sacramento? Because, like you said, other teams probably going to offer him a little bit more. Other teams offered Malik more, but he chose to stay here. What's the pitch to stay here in Sacramento, considering it's where we are right now?
And see, that's tough. That's tough. That's why being a GM is a hell of a job because you got so many obstacles you got to go up against. Okay, he's got to go up against the money, number one, right? You got to go up against the city, number two. Now, number three, you got to go up against the players that he would play against. And that's kind of hard when you're coming in second in all three of those categories. One of those categories, you're going to have to step your game up and go a little higher. That's why most teams that are in small markets, they have to overpay to get these caliber players to stay in their cities. If you don't draft them and you're trying to go out and get them in free agency, you almost have to overpay. It's been that way for years.
You're making this a depressing conversation.
No, Kenny,
because it's not giving me any hope.
It's not depressing. It is what it is. It's just what we're up against. That's why when you come in and you have to be a general manager, that's why those dudes get paid big bucks, because you got to be able to manipulate that salary cap to where you have enough money to where you can go out and try to keep these type players. Scott Perry is coming into a situation. Scott Perry had nothing to do with what he has in his hands right now. He's got to take whatever he got in his hands and mold it and try to make it into something. Right? Because the last regime made all of these deals. This is what's falling in Scott Perry's lap. He's looking at it saying, okay, how can I take this? Okay, I got some onions. I got some potatoes. I got a couple things of celery over there. How can I make this up? How can I make a goulash? How can I make soup? You know what I'm saying? So now he's got to go out and try to find a couple of ingredients to bring it here to make this thing work.
I'm going to go back to last year, High Flyer. Right around this time, we wondering about Malik Monk, right? We ain't had no Debo on the horizon. It was looking bleak. A lot of people thought Malik was as good as gone.
I did too.
Orlando, somebody was going to offer him some money, and he was going to go. Things turn. He re-signed. We're up. We get DeMar. Everybody, it's like a movie out here. Hold up. Let me get to my question here. Today is feeling bleak right now. Not Memphis, just Sacramento bleak. How do we get I did that. How do we get the fan base, the vibes to turn around? I tell you, if Jake LaRavia walks out that door, and I know Jake ain't Malik or a starter or anything like that, but that's a punch in the gut.
It's a hit.
It's a hit.
It's a hit.
How does Scott Perry get this thing turned around this offseason? I'm talking about the vibes. How do we get past 40 wins, missing the playoffs? Is it a Jake LaRavia signing? Is it a trade? Is it trading up and getting the first round pick? How do we get the fans excited going into this upcoming season?
Katie, it's going to have to be a multitude of things. It really is, because you just put it out there. Our season last year was it wasn't a success. It was a down season for us because we expected this team to do a hell of a lot better than what they did. So when you look at the maturation of everything that happened, head coach gone, number one player gone, the rest of the organization gone. So you look at this team and, okay, you feel bleak. Now you look at this, okay, so what can be done to make us feel better? Well, first of all, like I said, we talked about this on Wednesday. You're going to have a conversation with your guys that you're going to try to build around, because they got to feel good, number one. Never mind the fan base, because if the players come out and they feel good and they do good things, the fan base is going to jump on board. But you got to get your roster together for these guys to say, okay, I see where we're trying to go. Because I'm pretty sure we got at least probably 2 to 3 players on our roster that looks at our team and say, okay, if we're not trying to go upwardly mobile, I might not want to be here. You got some guys that's getting along pretty long in the tooth of their careers, and they want to try to win. They want to be competitive. Not too many old players want to stick around for a rebuild situation. And I'm not saying rebuild is a bad thing. Sometimes that's what you have to do.
That's what you need.
We've seen teams do it. We've watched OKC do it. We watched Houston do it. OKC was struggling 3.5, 4 years ago. Couldn't win basketball games. Houston was a laughing stock 3, 4 years ago. But they had to go through that rebuilding stage. Nobody ever wants to go through with it because, believe me, it's painful. Rebuilding stage is painful. But at some particular point, if you're a small market team, you have to do it. What is Utah doing right now? Going through those pains. Utah struggles so bad they could have played in college and lost a basketball game. But they're going through that rebuilding stage.
when I look at the job Scott Perry has to do, and maybe this is why he tweeted it out on Monday about being patient. I don't know if the Kings can win the offseason unless you make a big-time splash. You know, whether it's a Trey or just a big-name play. Like, bring a CP3 in, bring in Marcus Smart, bring in, the guys you mentioned. I don't know if they can win the offseason. And I'll go even further, High Flyer. I don't even think it's important for the Kings to win the offseason. Because we saw last year, winning the offseason don't do a damn thing for you once the season comes.
Oh, no.
You got to handle your business when the season comes.
Exactly.
And get these fans to feel like, okay, we are on the right path. Whatever you do, proof got to be in the pudding, High Flyer.
Right.
This ain't no, winning the headlines and the tabloids and all that.
But see, that's why Scott Perry is saying, be patient. You can't go out and just make that big splash all in one. Your splashes might be little bitty splashes that might equal to a big one.
Right.
So, and then, like I said, looking at what he has to deal with, he might be looking at saying, okay, I might not be able to make a huge splash this year. Let me come in and make a couple of moves and then see what we can do later on down the line.
Should fans be okay with that, though?
They're going to have to be. This is not an overnight type thing. KD, we just switched up a lot. A lot, bro. Head coach, gone. GM, gone. Your franchise player, gone. That's a lot to come back from, bro. A lot. So don't think that, okay, you're going to go and grab all of that in 1 year or one off season. There's a lot to jump back from. You still got some players that you can build around, but you still got to make sure that those guys are happy and they on board and with the direction you're trying to go.
We got more with the High Flyer coming up in just a little bit. We got a special guest set to join us as well. Coming up after this short timeout, Marcus Dupree, standout running back at Oklahoma, was a great high school running back. High school Heisman named. I mean, this dude is one of the most interesting guys, has one of the most interesting stories, and we're going to talk to him next here on The Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Red flag warning in effect on Saturday. A dry north breeze, gust to 30 miles per hour in the valley. Highs will be in the 80s with sunshine. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
At Elk Grove Honda, we've acquired some of the best pre-owned cars we can find. Whether you purchase a new Honda or a like-new pre-owned Honda, Elk Grove Honda has the right Honda at the right price. In the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 and Elk Grove Boulevard, or elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck, and she's proud of that. Jane's secret, AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes, but when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Summer days just got even brighter with Kohl's epic deals. Get this. You can score tees for just $5.99. Bedding for 60% off. Comfy shorts only $7.99. And so much more. You do not want to miss out. Shop Kohl's epic deals for savings on all things summer now, before it's too late. Select styles. Some exclusions apply. Offer ends June 22nd. See store at Kohl's.com for details.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter Get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Around here, the summer can smack you silly, especially if your AC is not functioning at a high level. Whitey Gleason here. I had the opposite problem over the winter. System went down. It was panic time, but Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating saved the day. Let them save you from unnecessary summer misery. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, reliable, trustworthy. They do great work. They've won awards for their service. Check the reviews at leesair.com. Find out about their $99 HVAC tune-up service. Save your summer now. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating on the web at leesair.com. License number 635355.
This summer, give your kids a reason to smile, right, Lee? At Kids Care Dental, we make dental visits fun with a kid-friendly team, easy to schedule appointments, and expert doctors who really care.
Whether it's a checkup, a cleaning, or their very first visit, we've got you covered. We accept most insurances, and we're always ready when your schedule gets hectic.
Smiles grow here. Book online in minutes at kidscaredental.com. That's kidscaredental.com. Kids Care Dental, where healthy teeth make happy kids.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
According to Bogey Jones in the Daily Divot, golf is the best sport ever, and they provide a few reasons why. Some include no two courses are the same, so you'll never get bored. Some are wicked long. Others have super thick rough, and others have fast greens. Enjoy the variety. You can make the game competitive with anyone. With other sports, bigger, stronger, younger opponents may have an edge. In golf, different tees and a formal handicap system makes it competitive, even if you're a 30 handicap. Golf can't be conquered. One day you can't miss a shot, the next day you want to throw all your clubs into the lake. The unpredictability is fascinating, and age is just a number. You can play when you're 70 years old. In fact, some don't take up the game until later in life, but don't wait that long. And you'll meet amazing people, celebrities, athletes, successful CEOs. You never know who you'll meet on a golf course. And oh yeah, it's a game. So have some fun. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Avery-Anna. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Tickets and info at CITPFest.com.
Free wellness, red light therapy, infrared trim pod, cold plunge, halo therapy, massage, cryotherapy, sunbeds, and more. All services all week, all customers free during Wellness Week at California Sun Wellness Spas. No sign-up required, walk-ins welcome. Free at all California Sun Wellness Spa locations starting this Monday. CaliforniaSun.com.
Golf tournament out in Rancho Marietta.
Okay.
Chopped it up with him on the Drive Guys very briefly. So, dude, we got to get you back on. My man Jay behind the boards there set it up. It's my pleasure to welcome in Marcus Dupree, greatest high school player, some say ever. Look at his stats. Look at the numbers, High Flyer. Look at the numbers. He got the numbers to back him up, Marcus. Yes, sir. What's up, man? You're on with Kyle and High Flyer.
Goat, man. Hey, I'm just trying to graze in the pasture, brother. That's all. Just graze in the pasture.
Hey, man, your numbers are off the charts coming out of high school in Philadelphia, Mississippi. Played your college ball, obviously, starting out at Oklahoma. We'll get into all that in a minute, but I knew you were in the Sacramento area just a few weeks ago for the Drive for Impact golf tournament. How was that for you, man?
Man, it was great, man. It was a great experience. I came out there last year, and it just keeps getting better and better. Met a lot of people that, I seen on TV, played on or whatever, And it was good to meet those guys and just make a bond and friendship forever.
Let me ask you this. Golf, I mean, you are a crazy athlete, just a freak of an athlete, did all these things in football. How humbling is the sport of golf, man? Tell me about that.
Hey, bro, it's so humbling to me that I take only 2 clubs. My friends they'll start calling me Mr. 2 Clubs. I only bring the driver and the putter. That's all I can do.
That's it. You tee off and then you putt. I see you up at the green, huh? That's good stuff. Hey, Marcus, let's talk about, let's start where it all started. Philadelphia, Mississippi. Most highly rated recruited player ever from Mississippi. Broke Herschel Walker's record for most touchdowns. What was that recruitment process like for you, man?
Bro, it started like the 8th grade. And so I went through 3 or 4 years of it before I even got to my senior year. So I had gotten used to it. Just blessed to have a good high school coach who had coached at a different high school before he came to Philadelphia, which he had a number of good players that came out of Kosciuszko, Mississippi. And so just blessed to have those people on the team, and my mom and my principal. So we had structure, and it wasn't bad as everybody thought it was or thought it was going to be. But it still was a lot of pressure. You had guys coming in, flying in on planes, dropping bags of money back then, and we didn't have no NIL like they got today. But it was an experience to see, and you're gonna see it soon. I just signed a contract to do a live movie on me.
Oh, nice!
With the Saints just yesterday, so everything's good.
Now let me ask you this: with the NIL deal. How do you feel about that? Because you was one of the guys that came out that you still got a bag, but it was done in a different type of way. So how do you feel about the NIL right now?
Well, I tell people all the time when I speak to reporters, I said, my mom was talking NIL back in 1982. She came to a game and they had all these Run Marcus Run t-shirts, and then they had the number 1 foam fingers with the Run Marcus Run. So I come out of the locker room, and we getting ready to go back to the dorm. She said, hold up. Are they paying you for them T-shirts up there? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. And she's like, well, you go on to the dorm. I'm going to go up and holler at Coach Switzer, and we're going to figure this out before I leave here today. So I started getting a little money under the bed. She was talking NIL back then. But
joined by Marcus Dupree, the great Marcus Dupree. Mark, after high school, you choose Oklahoma, and for the people who haven't had the opportunity to see the great 30 for 30, Mark goes to Oklahoma. But why Oklahoma? You've talked about it before. I'm always been asked this as a college athlete. Did you make the right decision? Now, hindsight, looking back at it.
There's no doubt I made the right decision, especially life after football. I mean, they treat the players up here like, they professionals. And I come back now. I'm in Oklahoma right now, and I come back and I make money when I come back up here. I get into businesses up here. Matter of fact, me and Coach Switzer are in business right now with Costco, Kroger, and Walmart. We're doing a big deal for them. So just the opportunity of life after football. That's why I try to tell my grandson or any other kid that I talk to, think about where you're going and what they can do after you get out, after the cheers are done. What can they do for you after that?
Marcus Dupree joining us here on the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports 1140. All right, Marcus, you played about a year and a half at Oklahoma. Then you transfer out. What went down there? Like, what was the reasoning? And because I hear you talk about you and Coach Switzer, doing business together now and everything. What was that relationship like back then, and how to get to this point now?
Well, it was just like, I guess he wasn't used. People say he wasn't used to an athlete like me. He just was, everything was negative. I'm like, I didn't grow up, around negative stuff. If I did something wrong, I got, scolded for it. But I wasn't doing nothing wrong. He was always on my ass about it. I'm sorry.
You say ass. You say ass.
That's the one you can say.
So I was like, man, what is I'm doing? I used to talk to Coach Selman. I used to talk to Galen Hall. He said, don't worry about it, big boy. I'm going to still give you the ball. But still, I'm still dealing with Coach Switzer. That's why I came to Oklahoma, because of him and Thomas Light and Billy Sims. It was a great opportunity. They were playing black quarterbacks at that time. and I just want to be a part of history and tradition, and that's what it was here in Oklahoma. It's definitely tradition because I'm here now. I'm taking pictures and signing autographs like I just played yesterday.
Nice.
I want to piggyback on that, Marcus, because I think your story is really important, not only for young athletes, but what I'm hearing is coaches as well. You know, how important do you think relationships are in developing those from a coaching standpoint? Because from what I'm hearing, like for instance, Bob Knight, some kids can take the yelling and screaming, but some, you got to try a different tack. That's the message, I guess, that, you can put out there as well. Speak to that, if you will.
No doubt. Every kid in every situation is different. You got to know your kids. You got to know your athletes. And you got to know how to communicate. You got to know what make them click. All you have to tell me, go out there and run the ball. Get a ball to me. I'm going to do what I got to do because I came up in hard time Mississippi. I know how to grind and do what I need to do to get to where I need to be. That's all you had to tell me. You had to get in the papers and say negative things because it wasn't nothing negative to say. I was honor roll student as a freshman. I got the freshman athlete scholar the first year, so it wasn't none of that. So I had to give it to him. He admitted on his 30 for 30 that he handled my situation totally wrong. So he admitted it.
Hey, Mark, because obviously now, as you said, Coach Switzer are business partners. Did it take a while? How long did it take for you guys to come back? Was the relationship never splintered and that's just the way it's kind of been portrayed in the media? Like, how long did it take for you guys to come back and reconcile?
I guess 3 or 4 years after I went to the USFL and somehow he got my number. He started calling me. He was telling Emmitt Smith, I know number 22 way better than you. He used to call, when he was with the Cowboys. And so that kind of what did it. And then Jerry Jones invited me to his birthday party. And it just started, downhill after that.
Marcus Dupree joining us here on The Drive, guys. Marcus, you started in the USFL back in the mid-'80s, a record deal. And they actually sort of, I don't want to say circumvented the rules, but they didn't draft players that hadn't graduated yet or as young as you. What was that experience like getting to play football professionally in the USFL?
So that's what kind of made up my mind. Coach, a lot of people don't know this, but Coach Selman was trying to get me into the NFL through his brother Leroy Selman that was at Tampa at the time. And, it was just one of those things where the USFL said, you can't eliminate somebody that wants to go make a living. And that's what they got to look at. Luckily, I'm surprised that nobody challenged the NFL with it. But that's what got me in. They couldn't stop me from making a living. And I want to go make a living instead of playing in college. Like these kids, now they playing 4, 5, 6 years and making a great living.
Joined by the great Marcus Dupree. Mark, one of the things that I always looked at you from the outside looking in is you were a trendsetter. You, as we talked about, you jumping into the USFL, you broke narratives that hadn't been broken prior to that. How do you go about that today? Is that a badge of honor? Is that something you're like, I've been there, done that because you're the person living through it? Like, how's your perception on that?
Well, I look at it, people ask me that question all the time, but I was the guy who started all these guys with the big contracts. So, this part of, I was one of the first ones. So there will be a first one. So, after me. So I just look at it as part of life. And we go up and down hills. I know when I speak to kids, I tell them that life is kind of like a football game. You could be up 14 points in the first quarter and be down 3 touchdowns in the second half. It's just how you handle it and how you deal with it and how you approach it. Let's don't worry about the negative. Let's go to the positive and get the positive going.
Marcus Dupree, yeah, that's great advice
right there.
Yeah, Marcus, what are you up to now, man? Tell us what you got going on. I know you were out there at Hall of Fame. You're doing all kinds of stuff. Tell me what you've been up to, man.
So lately, we about 3 or 4 years ago, we could try to get in the marijuana business here in Oklahoma. They kind of let it get out of hand. You got the cartel in here. You got the doggone Chinese mafia in here. So we got out of that, and then Coach Switzer came to me about the deal with Costco and Kroger and all that. So we got into that, and now we're doing a little acting. I probably did about 10 movies in the last 2.5 years. Small budget movie, not no big. Well, on the big movie that I did in that 10 it's called Mysterious Circumstances, and that's about Lewis and Clark. It's a true story, and a lot of people don't know in history that it was a black man that led Lewis and Clark over the United States and across the world. And a lot of people don't know that. But
man, I read the script. I tell you this, y'all doing movies like that, man. Let your boy High Fly come down there and do a little acting, man. Put me in there as an extra.
Hey, so we just spoke with Annabelle, the chick that got human traffic Friday. Impact. We just spoke with her this morning, so she's writing up a script and a treatment to do a movie about her. So yeah, no doubt.
Man, it's out there, man.
Checked out, man. Come on, the great Marcus Dupree, rocking and rolling. Mark, one of the things I've as an athlete, we all got an ego. I know you look around. I know you look at, the Tony Dorsetts, the Edgerrin Jameses of the world, the Thurman Thomases, the Barry Sanders. Where in the hell does Marcus Dupree sit in the greatest running back argument?
Well, as long as I'm in the number, bro, I don't look at numbers like that. As long as I'm in the crowd somewhere, I can show my face every now and then. It'll speak for itself.
All right. We appreciate that. Marcus, I'm an Eagles fan, Philadelphia. I just saw my boy Saquon Barkley carry my Eagles to the Super Bowl championship, that Lombardi trophy. What do you make of the running back position now in the NFL?
Well, they kind of trying to demote it, man. Go back to the A, B, C's, and D's. Hey, without a running game, you can't throw the ball. If you ain't got no running game, you cannot throw the ball. So, I know he just got a big contract, but they're not trying to give the kids that are coming out now the big contracts like they used to. So they kind of like trying to throw it to the side, but you can't throw it to the side. You got to have a running game.
Man, Mark, last question for me. Want to talk about the high school Heisman, a.k.a. the Marcus Dupree, or actually I should say the Marcus Dupree, a.k.a. the Heisman. Talk about having the number one high school football player in the country be named the Marcus Dupree Trophy.
Well, man, it's definitely, I don't even know how to say it, man. It was an honor, no doubt. And when they called me about it, they're like, man, Marcus, you was the best ever. You had 300 offers coming out of high school. We got the name. It's true. Are you with it? I'm like, bro, I'm with it because I got grandkids coming over, so it'll be something that's going to be there to live forever. And they be the one, when I'm dead and gone, be the one to present it, hopefully.
Man, 300 offers?
Yeah.
Over 300 offers. But was there a college that didn't send you a letter?
It wasn't a college. Man, my grandmother used to get so mad. She's like, Mark, will you hear them tell these people where you going? Because I'm tired of all this damn mail coming to the house. And then, back then we didn't have the doggone, the telephone recorder. You had the little one that sit on the side of the phone. That song would be
the answering machine joint. Yeah. With the little cassette tape on the side.
Yes, indeed. My grandma used to be so mad. She was like, will you please ever tell these people where I'm tired of them calling this house. They're up.
Was there a number two? Was there?
No, he committed to Texas verbally.
But I'm saying after Texas, because I'm a UT guy, Marcus, I'm a UT guy. I should throw that out there. Went to UT. But after UT.
Me and Earl Campbell best buddies. He was my hero when I was coming out of high school. I wanted to run like Earl Campbell. I wanted to have the speed like Eric Dickinson. I wanted the quickness like Gale Sayers. So I try to put all three of them people in my body.
Ooh-wee. Man. Marcus Dupree, man, we appreciate you, man. Keep doing your thing out there. Marcus Dupree, High School Heisman Award. Thanks for coming on with us, man. And we're going to see you, obviously, next year at the golf tournament, too, when you come up here.
No doubt. With God's will, I'll be there for sure, man. I had a great time out there, and it was nice meeting you guys, man. You guys do a good job, and that's why I'm doing the show with you.
Hey, bring more than 2 clubs, dog.
Hey, I'm bringing, bro, 2 clubs. Mr. 2 Club. Remember, I'm going to make a T-shirt and ask about them. I'm going to start selling them.
All right. Mr. 2 Club. I like that. All right, Marcus. Appreciate you, man.
All right, bro. No doubt.
All right, baby. All right, Marcus Dupree joining the Drive Guys. High flyer. He had 300 offers. You were a standout high school player. What was that? Like, what?
Hey, you know what?
Explain that
in
to me.
Mail, too?
Right?
Mail time?
Hey, let me tell you, I can't even imagine that because, I almost went through the exact same thing because you get so much mail coming to the crib, dude. You get all these letters from all these colleges. And really, I live with my grandmother, too. She was like, why is all this stuff coming here? Boy, you need to make a decision. I'm tired of my phone ringing all time of nights. But, being recruited, man, I would have to say probably is one of the best times you have, man, because it really boosts your ego.
Yeah,
it really does. No, I'm saying, Kitty, because they're letting you know that they want you at their school.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where you're a young kid, you really don't know what it's all about. All you know is everybody's calling you. It's kind of like you're the pretty girl at the school. Everybody is calling you. Everybody wants you. And you're like, wow, I'm going to have to make a decision about where I want to go and where I want to be.
You know what's interesting, HT, is for years as a kid growing up, you do your reading, you do your research, you're in the sporting news, you're looking, and you hear athletes always talk about, well, not all of them, but a lot of them, how stressful it was. It was so stressful. It was a stressful time. Yeah. And I wanted to get it over. I'm with HT. Hell no.
You loved it. You enjoyed that, huh?
Please.
You know what? I will say this. If I was, into like, USA Today and all the college stuff, I probably would have picked a different college to go to because I was pretty much recruited by everybody.
Really?
Yes.
But you chose what? Fullerton?
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
What happened? And I only chose Fullerton because one of my buddies were going. At first I was USC. I'm going to SC.
Sure wasn't a young lady. It was your buddy.
No. It was my boy. At first I was SC. You know what? USC. I want to go to USC.
Who was coaching USC at the time? You remember?
Cheney, I think.
Don Cheney?
Yeah. I think Cheney was there at the time. And then, I said, okay, I want to go to Washington because one of my other boys was going to Washington.
Good job.
I was like, okay, I'm going to Washington. Then at the last second, he was like, we were like, we're going, man, we're going to be be together.
Was he balling too? Was he a ball player too?
Yeah. Okay. I'm like, you going on a double football and basketball. We're going to hold it down and hoop. And then at the last second, he said, no, I'm going somewhere else.
Dang.
And I was like, I don't want to go. I'm an only kid.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to Washington by myself. And one of my other partners was like, man, look, I'm going to Cal State Fullerton. Come go with me to Cal State Fullerton. And they had been recruiting me all the time anyway. So I was like, okay, we're going to be in LA. I thought about USC, but I don't want to go to USC by myself. And I'm like, okay, cool. We're going to go to Cal State Fullerton. We're going to make it rock. But bro, I was getting recruited by Arizona. I got a couple of recruits from Georgetown, Syracuse. What? Dude, I was recruited by almost every college was sending me letters. I didn't want to leave California, bro. Didn't want to leave California.
Hey, see, let me ask you something real quick because this is something that before we get into you're telling stories already. This is just a sample of it. I, as a California guy through and through, and playing sports, I've always basketball and baseball was where I was at, but I knew I was going to play baseball. That was my love, and I was short, so it didn't matter. I always have asked how guys from California skip over a lot of our colleges here, Arizona, Washington, Oregon, and go all the way to South Carolina, go all the way over to Penn State, go all the way over to Tennessee, places where it's like, that's not even the same feel or look for California.
You know what? Here was my thing is that when I came out, like I said, I was wanting to stay at home and I want to stay with my friends, but I also looked at it like this too. It's like when you look at Duke, North Carolina, places like that, they got dudes that's been to the league. They got pedigree. At that particular time, wasn't nobody coming out of Pepperdine.
Right.
Wasn't nobody coming out of Cal,
Gonzaga, Santa Clara, Santa Barbara,
San Jose.
Right.
Dudes wasn't getting looks like that. And, I actually thought of that too. I'm like, well, I'm going to Cal State Fullerton. They don't get looks like that. But at that particular time at Cal State Fullerton, they had the number 2 point guard in the nation. He got a big run.
Who?
Leon Wood.
Oh, Leon Wood went to Fullerton. Oh, I didn't know that.
So
okay.
I'm looking at Leon Wood like, okay, this dude got love and Fullerton got some pop to him. He leaving. I can go because he was recruiting me hard.
Yeah.
I was like, I can go there and pick up where he left off. So I looked at it like that. But in true nature, you get a better or longer look back in those days.
Sure. Different times.
Back in those days, if you came from Louisville and you was a dude that was balling at Fresno State, pretty much Louisville got the look.
But okay, But USC, Washington, Oregon, Arizona, ASU.
All the Pac-10 schools got a little love.
But as you're saying, not as much as the Big East.
Oh, no.
Or the SEC or the Big Ten.
Not Virginia.
So that's why you jump all the way over to, like you said, I'm going to West Virginia, even though I'm from Antioch.
Right, because you understand.
Never got it.
You understand, even if you coming off the bench for Duke, you're going to get a longer look than if you the man at Santa Barbara. Just the way it was.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why a lot of guys wanted to make that leap and go to the highly sought after basketball schools. But nowadays it's totally different.
They find you everywhere.
You ain't even got to go to college no more.
You can come out of JUCO.
Yeah, for sure.
And make it happen.
Yeah.
That's like Scottie Pippen, like Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
How'd they find those guys back then?
It's a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But see, they open the doors. They open the doors to, wait a minute. You know what? Everybody ain't going to Duke or North Carolina and those schools. You know, everybody ain't coming out of Georgetown. Matter of fact, guess what? We can go over the pond and go down to Athens and go over to Turkey.
Yeah.
They got some boys getting down over there too.
Yeah.
So basketball expanded. You know, of course they started looking at, smaller schools because, we got a little point guard in the league that came out of Davidson that holds it down in the league now.
Right.
Okay. You look at, he didn't go to Duke in Arizona, nothing like that. He went to Davidson. But it was good dudes coming out of these small schools, and the league started recognizing that.
High Flyer. A little preview there, a little taste of story time with High Flyer. When we bounce back, we're going to get into it. I want to ask him about balling in the town with Brian Shaw, with Gary Payton. Some of that trash talk back in the day.
See, you domestic. I'm getting international.
Yeah, you want to go to Greece and all that? You look at High Flyer's look on his face. Hey, and so we're going to get into it. It's story time with the High Flyer coming up next here on The Drive, guys. Sacktown Sports 1140.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by California Sun.
I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Red flag warning in effect on Saturday. A dry north breeze, gust to 30 miles per hour in the valley. Highs will be in the 80s with sunshine. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your team and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Sacktown Sports 1140 listeners, take advantage of your last few opportunities today to win a signed DeMar DeRozan jersey. Listen the next couple of hours for our winning code word. Once you have it, text it in to 916-339-1140. Again, for your chance to win a signed Sacramento Kings DeMar DeRozan jersey. Code word, dunk.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that, and third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
People are coming from all over to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, from Folsom, Elk Grove, Woodland, Roseville, because they've seen for themselves the huge selection and the best prices at SacSuperstore.com. Good luck finding a lower price anywhere else. And if you do, they'll match it. It's as simple as that. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where a handshake still means something. Open until 10 o'clock and centrally located right across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course. And online at SacSuperstore.com. The guaranteed lowest price and the best selection of Dodge, Chrysler, Jeeps, and Rams. SacSuperstore.com.
I remember as if it were yesterday. I reached down to move a nightstand and was astonished at the weight of the piece. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. At that moment, I instantly recognized the difference between Naturewood's quality furniture that will last a lifetime versus lesser quality furniture found elsewhere. Now, I suppose there's a huge difference in what you'd put in your first apartment and what you would live with in the comfort of your own home. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings Made in USA sale is a great time to fill your home with solid, superior quality furniture to reflect your own love for life. With brands like Sam Moore, Stanton, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and many more, Naturewood Home Furnishings has tables, chairs, couches, and, yes, nightstands, and more at their Made in USA sale. Find furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
This July 3rd, get ready to ignite your summer at the Ron-Stramiska Firebreaker 90 at the legendary Stockton 99 Speedway with late models, mini stocks, pure stocks, legends, and mini mods. All outdoor, plus a massive fireworks show that'll light up the night. Get your tickets now at Stockton99.com. July 3rd, be there.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHTK-HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sacktown Sports 1140.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Back here on the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports 1140, Drapes High Flyer and Jay, 2 hours down, 2 to go. Take you into the weekend here. Beautiful weekend here in the city of Sacramento.
What it look like in Vegas this weekend?
Yeah, let me look that up. I'm about to slide to Vegas tomorrow. Come on, big fella. You know me. I'm always moving and grooving, man. Hopping on that flight.
Hey, nothing wrong with it, brother. Just when you get there, put $5 on Photo Hardway for your boy H3.
Listen to you. All right. Right now it's 103. Tomorrow it's 93, though. And then Sunday it's 90.
Oh,
so
you
I'm
winning.
good. I'm straight.
Yeah.
I'm straight. Hitting a pool party tomorrow. Come on, man.
I would ask you where, but I asked you out there.
Yeah,
GPS.
Hey, You know, we went there last year, right?
Yeah.
And then we went to the summer league. Man, I don't know if you remember this or not, but remember they had that dust storm?
Yeah.
Man, we came outside, Jay. Now, Katie and I are both there. We came outside, and it had to be like about 4 in the afternoon. It's about 105, but the sky was totally red because the dust storm came through, and you couldn't see none of the buildings. I'm like, man, what the hell's going on?
Vegas weather, brother.
Wow. Hey, it's like that right now, though. It's windy as heck down there right now.
Crazy. And then it stormed later on that night.
In Vegas. That's crazy. Let's start right there. Story time with High Flyer. Excuse me and pardon me. I didn't have time to produce anything nice and fancy, any music or anything like that. But you're talking about Vegas. You've been in the league. You've been overseas. And I'm going to open up the phone lines, too, if anybody want to ask High Flyer any questions. G-rated, of course, 916-339-1140. Where's your favorite city to play in as an athlete?
In the league?
League, overseas, like what would you say is your most enjoyable time, in the league or overseas professional? You
know what? I would say this, just for me personally, when I first made it in the NBA, my first month, bro, I was in awe of everything.
Really?
Oh, man. Because, I really questioned, do I belong here, man?
Yeah.
These are the dudes that you see on television.
Right.
Right? You watching the Lakers, you watching Boston, you watching San Antonio. I was a big Ralph Sampson fan. I get this. I'm on the same team with Ralph. I'm just in awe with everything that's going on. But for me, I think my highest point was walking into 2 stadiums. Because you always seen them on TV. Number 1, Madison Square Garden, the Mecca, and then going into Boston, the Boston Garden, and the old parquet floor
with the
dead spots
where you dribble.
Yeah, with the dead spots on the floor. Just walking into those places, man, because it's so much history in Madison Square. When you look up in the rafters, you're like, whoa. All the greats played here. And you see the banners. Same thing when you walk into Boston. Boston's got all the banners,
retired numbers and all that.
And all the numbers, you like, boy, I'm in basketball royalty here. Mama, I done made it. Those 2 arenas probably were the most nostalgic for me.
Interesting. What was it like going into Boston? Like, you hear so much about the crowd, Larry Bird. At the time, Bird was still a little banged up and everything, but he was still
Bird. Was still Bird.
Yeah, he was still Bird, right?
He was Bird, man. I can tell you you want a story, Larry Bird story.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't know this, but they know it now because we talk about it so much. Larry Bird had to be one of the best trash talkers in the league. Oh, he would let you know, right? But we're not playing in Boston. We're playing here in Sacramento. And, him and Jerry Reynolds, they got history, right?
Yeah.
So they know each other. And the game is going on. And so Jerry subs me in. I'm playing 3 at the particular time, so I'm guard Bird. So we're at the free throw line. Larry is standing next to Jerry, and Jerry's standing up. And I'm standing next to Larry. Larry looks over at Jerry and says, Jerry, he said, you must be getting real desperate, sir. And Jerry said, desperate, why? He said, you got this kid right here guarding me.
Wow.
I'm looking at him like, you do know I hear you, right? But he didn't care, dog. Larry Bird talked more trash than anybody else in the league.
How did that make you feel, man? He's talking about you and everything like that. Did you lock in? He's like, I got him, coach. Don't worry about this.
That's Larry Bird, bro. Hey, what? No locking into Larry Bird.
Right.
Larry Bird game, bro, was so methodical because, he had the white man's disease. He couldn't jump. He wasn't quick and he wasn't strong, but he was so methodical in what he did.
Yeah.
He would tell you, hey, I'm coming off this screen right here and I'm going to step back and I'm going to shoot 3 and it's going to go in when the buzzer rings. Hey, now, watch out.
What you know about this?
Come on now.
What you know about this?
That's my ringtone, dog.
Is it really?
Yeah.
No, it's not. No,
That's my ringtone. That's my ringtone right
We ain't gonna say the title of the song.
No, but that's Drew Down.
Drew Down, man. DD. Drew Down. Tell me about basketball in the town, man. What was that like?
Back in the day, it was fun. It was fun. You know, if you ever hear some of the interviews that Gary talk about, man, because, you know, me and Gary grew up together learning the game. I think I met Gary when Gary was in the 4th grade and I was in the 6th grade.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
we were just that young. And, you know, we started playing together when I hit the 8th grade with his dad in AAU. So, you know, we used to man.
So his dad coached you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Al would put us all in a van, bro, and we drove to Arizona to play in AAU, man. And, you know, it was just fun at that particular time. And we didn't know who was going to be what. Nobody knew that I was going to be able to play with 2 Hall of Famers and a multi-championship guys.
Yeah.
You know, been knowing Brian Shaw ever since I had to be in the 6th grade too. You know, I played in Catholic school for St. Louis Bertrand. Brian Shaw played for St. Jarlath's. So we've known each other forever, man. It's like we're more than friends. We're like family. And then when Jason Kidd came to be, you know, he was playing with us. And then J.R. Ryder was playing with us.
J.R. Ryder from the town?
Yes. Greg Foster was playing.
I didn't know that.
Hey,
oh,
yeah. Greg, J.R. was in diapers.
Yeah, I'm about to say he's younger.
He's younger.
Yeah. Jay was in diapers. You know, Greg Foster played with us. Antonio Davis,
right?
Played with us.
Yeah.
You know, so we was pretty much all on the same team at the same time. So, man, I mean, we would get together, man, and it was one of those situations to where we helped each other because Brian was the first one to go to the league. Brian got drafted by Boston, so he was the first one to go. And then we played in the summer league, and then they were like, you know what, H, you the next one. So we came to Sacramento and just smacked Sacramento, and they feed me the ball and everything. So now I'm in the league. So now we got me and Brian in the league. The next year, G coming out. So we ain't got to get G in the league. G coming out lottery, right? So Gary comes out. Now we got 3 guys that's in the NBA that's on the summer league team. And then all of a sudden, Antonio Davis comes out, and we're like, okay, Tone, we got to get you on. He didn't come out as a huge draft pick, but we're going to get you on. Indiana came. We just smacked everybody in San Francisco. So we got we got Antonio Davis on. G. Foster came through, and then Jason. Jason shows up, and Jay was just a man among boys. I mean, Jay Kidd, believe me, had to be the exact same size, exact same strength, but lightning quick and seeing the floor like no other in high school.
Really?
In high school. Would find you at the drop of a dime. That boy has had that type of look and that type of court vision since high school.
What was it like? Because you said you know GP, Gary Payton, since 4th grade, story time here with High Flyer. Was he always mouthy? Or did that develop later on? Because he was a little younger, you say.
Everybody from the town mouthy.
He wasn't. He wasn't mouthy back then. I tell this story, man. G get mad every time I tell him. I'm like, yo, bro, it's the truth. When I first met Gary, we're playing in the championship game, right? And we win, but on that team, Gary wasn't the man. It was a dude named Dennis Johnson, Dino Johnson. He was the man on Gary's team, and I was friends with Dino. So we won, and I'm talking to Dino. I'm like, Dino, who the little kid over there on the corner crying, man? He said, oh, man, that's Gary. I said, no, I said, he raw, though. He was like, yeah. He said, but he only in the 4th grade. And I'm like, what?
Wow.
He was like, yeah, dude, the dude is only in the 4th grade. So I went over and started talking to Gary, and that's how we actually met each other. But he was crying.
He was crying on the side.
Yeah, he was talking to trash.
After taking that L.
That's right. He was crying.
Oh,
man. Was he 10?
Yeah, he was about 10 years old, huh?
Yeah, he was
made him cry.
We were 12.
Wow.
But he was rocking with us, though. He was rocking with us. He was in the 4th grade. He played on the 6th grade squad.
So he was playing up with kids.
Yeah, and I had no idea. I'm like, who the kid over there crying, man? He said, oh, man, that's just Gary. He said, he cry all the time. And I'm like, what? He said, but Joe, you only in the 4th grade. And I was like, what? For real? He was like, yeah. But he was rocking with us.
Where's Oakland's position in the NBA? And I asked that in the form of, you've been naming a bunch of players. You got Dame Lillard and so on and so forth. Where is Oakland's stature in the NBA. Do you ever have conversations with people throughout the league when they come to the arena, or you travel and have these conversations with some of your OG NBA guys? Do y'all ever, the town is better than Houston, or the town is better than, Miami?
We don't go that route, but we live more so on our era. And it was that 80s era to where almost all of us came out of high school in the 80s. And just we would definitely put our 80s era up against any other city as far as ballers that came out that made it to the league. Because like I said, I can go on and on. It's myself, it's Gary, it's Jason, it's Brian, it's Antonio. JR kicked it at the end. Greg Foster was in there. Some of the Leon Poe was in there.
Leon Poe, we gotta get Leon. That's my guy. Yeah.
Leon Poe was in there. I mean, and then other guys start coming through, but that 80s era, man, we was pretty dominant.
Interesting. Let me ask you this, though, and I know Jay going to get to the overseas stuff coming up in a minute. You remember your best pro game?
Yeah.
What game was it? Who was it? I got the numbers right here.
I'm
talking in the league.
I'm thinking I had a pretty good game against Milwaukee when we went to Milwaukee.
January 30th, 1990.
We went to Milwaukee.
Y'all took that L, though.
Yeah, we took an L, but I was balling in. I think that was the time to where, it was one of those situations where we were struggling and everything.
Yeah.
And I was a rookie, and Jerry said, "You've been busting your butt. Go out there." And matter of fact, I think Danny got hurt.
Was it Harold that got hurt?
Yeah, somebody got hurt.
Because Harold only played 16 minutes that game.
Somebody got hurt, and he put me in the game and said, "You up? Show me what you got."
I got the stats right here. I got the box score, baby.
Go ahead.
Henry Turner. They ain't got high flyer listed here. Henry Turner, 29 minutes, 5 of 9, 6 of 9 from the free throw line, 16 points, 5 assists, 2 steals, 3 boards. Don't have how many dunks you had. I'm sure you had a couple of those things out
for sure.
there. So y'all lost though 109-102, but you did your thing in that game.
I was able to get out on the floor and get some meaningful minutes. That's what it's all about in the NBA, KD. We talk about it all the time. We say, everybody in the NBA uniform was the man in college somewhere. So, he knows how to play the game. It's just all about how much opportunity you get. So that was my opportunity to get out and play and show what I can do.
Do you think, because you hear players talk about it all the time, opportunity, fit, all that, do you think when guys come into the league, they have to adapt their games to the situation? And are there players that probably are so much better than their stats and numbers indicated, but just because of circumstance? Like, for instance, let's say you went to a team and they got Kobe, Shaq. You balling in college, but you come out and join them, you ain't getting them same looks that you got.
Since it's storytelling time.
Yeah, I want to hear something.
Prime example. That same year, we go to camp, and I'm playing against this guy, and he in a similar situation that I'm in. He's got a solidified starter in front of him, and he's not getting no minutes. And me and him talking to each other. We crying each other's shoulders. Man, this is some bull, man. We can't get no run, man. We were the men in college. And all of a sudden, the guy that was playing in front of him went down mid-season. And he started getting run. And the guy I'm talking about is Latrell Sprewell.
Get out of here.
He was playing with Golden State, but at that particular time, he was coming off the bench for Chris Mullin.
Okay.
So Mullin getting all the run. Chris goes down, insert Sprewell. Dude start playing. Take off. If Mullin don't go down, ain't no telling what happens to Sprewell. Might not have got off the bench for another 2-3 years. It's just opportunity. Everybody that's in the league that has that uniform on can play basketball. That's why I hate when they say, "Oh, you know what? It's trash time."
Garbage time.
Garbage time. There is no garbage in the NBA. Let's get that out your mind right now. Everybody that's on that roster can play.
What you got, Jay?
HT, one of the things I like to always ask people is instead of going negative, because people want the gossip, juicy stuff, right?
And you know what? Hold on.
Yeah.
And KD, that game, I'm going up against Alvin Robinson and Terry Cummings.
Yeah.
I'm not playing against them. I'm not playing against no turds.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's let you know.
Okay, that's right. That's true.
Go ahead, Jay.
Beside Jordan, because I've heard you say, your play against Jordan is on a different level. Who's the one person that you're like, hey man, I lock this dude up? And then when you got in the league, it was like, okay, this is a different whole little vibe. Because I think as players, as athletes, we always got an ego. Like, man, I lock that dude up. Drake talks about it now. He's like, man, I lock TJ McConnell up right now. Who was the one that really surprised you that most people probably wouldn't pinpoint?
It was so many great players back then, man. I mean, and I had to guard the greats because I was that athletic dude on the team.
Yeah,
right.
So when we played LA, I had to guard Magic.
Ooh.
When we played Atlanta, I'm guarding Dominique. When we played Portland, I'm guarding Clyde Drexler. We played Boston, I'm guarding Larry Bird. I'm in that athletic position. So, but I would have to say this: the one guy that you would look at and say, nah, he wasn't that nice.
I lock dude down. It's nothing.
Yeah, I'm gonna lock him up. But I had a lot of chance to play against him, and I really respected his game, and I more so respected his craft and how he got down.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Mullin was a savage, bro.
Really?
Chris Mullin was just a 6'6" Larry Bird. He was slow, wasn't the strongest cat, had double dime vertical, couldn't jump. But I tell you what, if he got that basketball off, 8 out of 10 times it was going in.
Damn.
I mean, I was like an athletic freak, and I'm like, I'm about to lock this dude down. He's slow, he's fat. I'm about to kill him. Man, Chris Mullin used to give me the business so bad, bro. And I'd be mad coming off the court, but Chris was a great dude. I mean, and this was all the time in the summertime. We was always balled against each other. And people be like, Chris Mullin is that nice? I said, let me tell you something, dude. Go back to the original Dream Team.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now.
The original Dream Team had the baddest mofos in the league. Because you remember, they was upset because our college guys kept getting smacked.
Yeah.
So the number one Dream Team was the baddest dudes to ever play in the league. Chris Mullin was on that squad.
Yeah, he was.
So that's to show you how that's to show you how nice Chris was. And it was just tough guarding him, man.
What about, and we're going to talk more basketball. I know Jay's going to get into overseas stuff, but I'm listening to this beat, reminding me of Rapid Forte. What about the music scene in the town growing up? What was that like, man? Too Short popping off, and some of the other Bay Area rappers, town rappers growing up.
I would have to say
Seagram.
Yeah, Sieg was in there.
Come on now.
Sieg was nice. Rest in peace. That boy had game. It was crazy because hip hop had just really hit hard, and Short was out there grinding hard. Short was selling tapes and everything at the schoolhouse all the time, and then you had dudes who came after, like say, Sieg came after Short. You had Spice One. Spice One was after Short, and then Hammer popped off hard.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Ham popped off hard. We always had the Tonys. The Tonys did their thing.
Did you know Hammer at all?
Yeah.
Because they say Hammer was hard, like in real life. Like, forget the pants and everything like that. The shiny pants and the dance moves.
No, Hammer
his crew.
No, Hammer wasn't the boy. Hammer wasn't the one.
It wasn't him.
Ooh,
it was his brother Lewis.
Right?
Lewis was the one.
He was the one. Okay.
Lewis should
some of the dancers got down too, though.
No, for real. Dancers too.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. Terrible T, my cousin, dog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You had 357 that was getting down. The music scene in Oakland at that time was popping too, almost like basketball.
Yeah.
It's almost like the 80s in Oakland was the heyday. That's when Oakland was really popping. Everything was going off. Everything was flourishing. I mean, it was beautiful in Oakland at that particular time.
HT, you one of the things I've always been enamored with is the time overseas, man. I've asked you. Matter of fact, to the point, Drapes, I've asked him. I don't want no Kings in returner jersey.
Right.
I need a jersey from something over there. You know, where was it? Where were you at for like a quick month? Was it Turkey?
Yes, I spent 6 years in Italy.
I see Fenerbahce, huh?
That's the squad.
I spent 3 years in Turkey.
Okay.
And I spent.
What was the one that you went and you're like, nah, get me out of here? Did you tell me something like that?
Oh, no, that was Israel.
Israel.
I didn't even play. I didn't even play there.
Yeah. Okay.
I went different. I went for like 5 days.
And that wasn't it, huh?
It was right after the war, bro. It was right after the war, and I landed in Tel Aviv, and when we came down, I'm like, we're coming down, but I don't see the airport. No planes, no nothing. And I'm like, we coming down. We landed, they had the airport covered, bro. The airport was covered. You couldn't see it. Everything was covered.
Wow.
So we got out, and they take me to the hotel, and we drive by. I see this big tank with a guy sitting in it with a missile on top of it. It had these big old crates. I'm like, what is that? They said, that's the Patriot missile.
Whoa.
I said, he in there. They're like, yeah, he in there because they still shooting rockets over from Israel. They said he's still shooting rockets over. Damn. And I was like today? They was like, he's sitting in there right now, manning station, right?
Dang.
So we still driving some more, and I see this big crater. And I'm like, what's that? Because I'm asking all type of questions, KD, because I'm inquisitive. I'm like, what's that? They said, that's where one of the Scud missiles hit.
Damn.
So what do? You pull up to the arena and be like, nah, get me out. You hit your agent?
No.
How'd it come about?
No, I stayed there, right? So we went and worked out for like 2 days, just working out. And the team wanted me to stay. I'm balling everything. It had to be like 9 o'clock at night. And I'm in the hotel. All of a sudden you heard, it woke me up. I'm like, what the hell? So they came and they beating on my door. They said, we got to go down into the bomb cellar because bombs are coming in.
Wow.
I'm like, go where? Man, we had to get up, run downstairs, go in the bomb cellar, and we sat there, dude, for like about 2 hours until another horn went out and said, the skies are clear. Woke up that morning, called my agent. I said, I don't care what you do right now. Get me on the next thing smoking up out of here. There's no way I'm staying here. Wow. He was like, Henry, we cannot get you out of there. You got to have a 2-day pass before you can get on the airplane and leave. I said, man, get me out of here. They put me on a boat, bro, and shipped me from Tel Aviv to Greece.
Wow.
So I can get on the plane and come back home.
Wow.
I was like, I will not stay here one more minute.
Man,
that is crazy.
I'm like, they still got missiles coming overhead. I ain't coming back. No, I'm gone.
You done. Yeah,
done.
I'm out.
Done.
Yeah. Anything you want to tell us? Any story you been sitting on you want to tell us out here?
My Greece story?
Yeah. Let me hear that Greece story.
You know, I had just left the NBA and I went over to Greece to play. Athens, Greece. Loved playing there. Athens, Greece was probably one of my favorite places to play. Loved it. It was like playing in Miami. But we're playing for the Greek Cup Championship. So that means we got to play 1-1. And if you split, whoever lost by the most points, that team is out and the next team goes to the championship. Okay. Right? So we play in this team called PAOK, right? PAOK. And the man on the squad is Walter. Big Walt.
Walt who?
Walt from Syracuse.
Oh, Walter Berry?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Sweetness.
Okay. All right.
Walter Berry.
Yeah.
Me and Walt, cool. We playing. And I'm like, you know what? I'm about to give these boys numbers.
Yeah.
I don't care. So the first game, we in our house. And I go off. I give them 32 in the first half, KD. In the first half, they got this Greek kid guarding me. And, you know, and I'm like,
who is this?
I'm like Jordan over there, right? I'm like Jordan. This kid can't guard me. Killing me. So give him 32 in the first half. We win at our spot. So we go up to their spot and play, right? Same thing. I'm like, y'all got the same dude guarding me? I'm about to give him numbers, right? But we go up there and we lose. And the split was by 1, so they win the cup, right?
Oh,
so but we lose, no problem, but was giving them buckets. The young kid that was guarding me, Peja Stojakovic.
Get out of here.
Peja Stojakovic.
What?
Wow.
Yes. So fast forward, Peja gets drafted to Sacramento.
Yeah.
He comes to Sacramento. He really don't know too many people.
Yeah.
I walk into the practice facility. Peja goes nuts. Henry!
Damn.
Peja was 16.
So y'all go back to even over there.
I remember he was 16 years old.
16, oh, you was get this pit squeak off.
I was.
I'm a grown man.
And you know what? It was funny. When we talk about it, he was like, oh my God. He said, back then, nobody could do nothing with you. Nobody. Nobody. Because I got 2 scoring championships in Greece.
Okay.
And 2 slam dunk championships.
Get out of here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to have to go
This
over.
This TB continue.
I know. We got to talk more
I
about
got
this.
6, 7 more.
Oh, we got more. All right. We got to wrap it up because we got a Sacramento legend set to join us here next on The Drive, guys. Stick around. Michael Yogi Stewart joining us here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for American Energy, and oh my goodness, I'm born and raised here. I know it gets hot, but my goodness, we're already seeing 100-degree days. Listen to me. You do not want your system to conk out in the middle of June or July or August with one of those big 100-degree stretches. You want to make sure you're good all summer long. And my friends at American Energy Heating and Air can do that with a $24.50 tune-up right now. That's half price. And if you need a new system, $3,500 off, up to $3,500 off in rebates for qualified systems. They've been around since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Call them right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
The Hagen Oaks Cutting Edge Putter Fitting Studio offers you more technology, more choices, and more service. Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. With $30,000 worth of state-of-the-art technology ready for your fitting, Hagen Oaks will help you make your best putting stroke while finding the best putter design, shape, hosel, length, and loft for your game. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for more.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Red flag warning in effect on Saturday. A dry north breeze, gust to 30 miles per hour in the valley. Highs will be in the 80s with sunshine. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
If you're not looking for a brand new car, at Elk Grove Honda, we've acquired some of the best pre-owned cars we can find. We've kept only the best of our trades, and our buyer has found some of the finest pre-owned Hondas available in Northern California. You can see for yourself at elkgrovehonda.com. Whether you purchase a brand new Honda or a like-new pre-owned Honda, your car buying experience will be the same. We have the right Honda at the right price. You'll find us in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 and Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-431-8958. That's 800-431-8958.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places that I love to shop. Get it? With the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sacktown Sports.
Man, come on, Jay. How you going back like 40 years on me right now? Shout out LA Dream Team. You don't remember that.
Who was in the Dream Team?
That was Dr. Dre.
And who else?
Ooh, you put me, let me see. Not easy. Who?
Lonzo and Egyptian Lover.
Yes, sir.
Oh, for real?
And Egyptian Lover.
Oh,
Come on, man. You can, I'm telling you, I can't be faded, bro. I can't be faded, bro.
Yeah, this guy, Jay. This guy. All right. LA Dream Team, man. That's going back, man. What's that? 86 or something like that?
That's back.
That's going back. Way back here on the Drive Guys. Sacktown Sports 1140. Drapes, High Flyer, and Jay in the building. We got a special guest joining us right now. Sacktown's finest right here.
Sitting the tree.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Our guy, Yogi Stewart. Michael Yogi Stewart. What's up, man?
Let's go, Sacramento. Ladies and gentlemen.
Come on, yo. You was a baby when that was out, baby.
Come on, man.
What's up with you, man? Thanks for coming on with us, man. 8-year NBA vet, played with the Kings, Kennedy High School's finest.
Only thing wrong with him. That's the only thing wrong with him. He's a cougar. He's a cougar, baby.
Green Haven, baby. Born and raised.
Yogi, man, thanks for coming on, man. First of all, before we get into all the storytelling, we just had storytelling with our guy, High Flyer, Henry Turner. What are you up to right now? Where are you at?
I'm in Orlando. I've been here since I bought a house here in 2000, and I've been here ever since. Raised my kids here. This is home now. Long way from home.
Yo, Yogi, I kid you, man, because I'm a Burbank Titan. You know, same thing, same Florida Road. You know how it is. Look, he's
Look, I can say with 100% honesty that we never lost to Burbank.
Hey, look, I'll return the message and say that was different eras, so I definitely understand. But no, I mean, you growing up, you were older than me. Watching you and the Russell Osbys, guys like that was over in Kennedy. You guys definitely had super game over there. But what does it mean for a person like you to come from Sacramento and to get to the level that you achieved?
You know what, man? I always say this. My brother was 4 years older than me, and I grew up watching Kennedy basketball, and the battles that they had. The Kevin Johnson. Eric Goodman and all those guys, Donnie Johnson. I grew up, I ended up being a Sacramento King, but when I was growing up, my goal was to be a Kennedy Cougar. And, and that's what I wanted to be. When I was growing up watching those guys play, that's what I wanted to be. I had no aspirations of being a professional basketball player. I wanted to play for the Kennedy Cougars.
Wow.
So, Sacramento, will always hold a special place in my heart. We always laugh about this. Being from Sacramento, we always, we have an irrational love for the city. And, that was my heart. That was my love. I wanted to play for Kennedy. The Sacramento, will always hold a special place in my heart. But that being said, being able to, play a year for the Sacramento Kings and, playing in Arco Arena, it was a dream come true. You know, it was great. You know, I love the city. I love the Kennedy Cougars. You know, we dominated during that time. There's nobody that can ever say, you know, well, except for Jesuits. I hope Ike Fontaine and J.J. Cole are listening. But yeah, no, I love the city. Love Sacramento. That's where I'm from. Always much love for the city.
You know what, Yogi? Henry Turner here. When I first met a young Yogi, we were playing with Gus Armstead. We worked out.
Yep, yes, sir.
We worked out almost every day, man. Talk about how some of those summer leagues and all the workouts and stuff we used to do back in the day, how we really got prepared. Did he even try to make that push?
Come on, man. I mean, you know, Gus, Sacramento legend. You know, all of us that came up in the city, you know, Gus was the one who worked all of us out. You know, I remember, you know, when I first got out of Cal, and you know, I had 2 workouts. I had 2 teams that gave me an opportunity. One was the Kings and one was the Warriors. Ended up playing for the Kings, but when we were working out before that first season, we were all working out with Gus. And, you know, I remember, you know, sitting there and, you know, that first year, right before training camp started, you know, Mitch Richmond and those guys were in the gym. And, you know, Gus was the one that kind of first made me believe that, you know, I had an opportunity to make the team. You know, we were playing pickup games, and, you know, you know, Mitch and those guys were playing. And, you know, Gus is, you know, like I said before, he's a legend in the city. Love him. And he was the one that first got me believing that I had an opportunity, and it worked out for me. And you know, a lot of that is because of Gus.
Got Michael Yogi Stewart joining us. Yogi, I'm just looking at your career, man, and I got so many questions about it. Just tell me about just your first season, your one season here in Sacramento, your rookie year, and you getting some extensive playing time, my man. You know, what was that like for you, hometown guy, really getting 20-plus minutes a game here in Sacramento?
Yeah, no, I you know, I honestly, you know, you know, my father played overseas for his whole career. And, you know, coming out of Cal, you know, I had a decent career at Cal. Like, you know, I did okay, but, you know, I didn't get invited to any of the NBA camps. You know, you know, that just didn't seem like that was the path for me. But, you know, Scotty Sterling, rest in peace.
Yes, sir.
You know, he believed in me. I worked out for the Kings. He called me the day after the draft and said, "Look, you know, we couldn't draft you, but we loved your work ethic. We have a guy named Peja Stojakovic that we just drafted, who's coming here to work out. We want you to come and work out with him, and we'll see what happens." So I moved back into my mom's house, and I went and worked out every day that summer with Peja and the you know, the guys that were in the Kings front office. And, you know, they gave me an opportunity. You know, I never thought that I would be an NBA player. I did not think that was my path. But, you know, just going up there with those guys every day and working out, and, you know, seeing Peja work, and, you know, working out with Al Biancani.
Yeah, Big Penny.
You know, yeah, Big Al. You know that. You know they gave me a chance, and, you know, I made the most of it. Man. And, you know, I have nothing but great things to say, and you know, they gave me a chance to make a living, and I'll you know, I'm grateful forever for those guys for giving me that opportunity.
Man, joined by Michael Yogi Stewart, Sacramento's own. Mike, after that, you had an opportunity to slide to Toronto and play a little international ball, albeit in the NBA. Yeah. What's your memories of playing in Toronto? And we've come to know that it's a crazy atmosphere up there. Did you always see it that way? Did you feel that when you were up there playing?
Oh man, look, I mean, if anybody asked me today what my favorite city in the league is, number one, I'm always going to say Sacramento because that's where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
But, number two is always going to be Toronto, I think most guys in the NBA would say the same thing. Everybody, would probably think LA or New York or Miami or whatever, but most guys would say Toronto. It's a beautiful city. A lot of people say it's a clean New York. And when I was there, it was kind of the beginning of a different era. When I came, Vancouver was still in Vancouver, but shortly after that, they moved to Memphis. So we were the only team in the country. So, and on top of that, we had, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady. We had a hell of a young core that ended up being the superstars in the league. So I had the best seat in the house for 4 years, and I'm grateful for the opportunity.
Yogi Stewart joining us. Yogi, you mentioned Vince Carter. You got to play with a number of all-time greats, especially in their young career, their rookie years. Let's start with Vince Carter. What was a young Vince like in Toronto?
Oh my God. I mean, the first, we talk and laugh about this all the time today. So Vince lives in Orlando as well. So he's my neighbor. And, VC is the, obviously, the most athletic, one of the most athletic guys in the history of the NBA. But, his skill level was top notch as well. I mean, Vince is a guy, like we laugh all the time. We used to come to practice and our coach would say, hey, if somebody makes a shot from half court, no practice today. And at that time we had Vince Carter on the team. We had Tracy Murray, California legend, UCLA, and Dell Curry. A lot of people know him as Steph Curry's dad, but I was always comfortable that one of those guys was going to make and those guys would shoot jump shots from half court.
Right.
So, VC was, one of the most talented players to ever play in the NBA. But more than anything, just a good person. And it was, I don't know. I don't know the best way to say it, but it was, my honor to, to have the best seat in the house, to watch him become the player that he became, because he's, obviously a Hall of Famer. He got his jersey retired by 2 teams this year and made the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But, VC was just, he was on a different level.
Joined by Michael Yogi Stewart. One of Paul Pierce, Vin Baker. There's so many guys that you've had the opportunity to play. I know this is way out of left field, like Barry Bonds. Ricky Davis. What was it like to rock with Ricky Davis? Because from the outside looking in, people was like, Rick was a character.
It's on the end too. It's not on the outside. It's on the end too.
Hey, look, man, it probably take
twice too. I think you played with him twice.
I did. I played with Rick in Cleveland, and then we got traded together to Boston.
Yeah.
And we probably need a late night platform. Yeah. You know what, man? I ran up against some great dudes, man. Rick was one of them. Rick was one of those guys who could stay out all night, party all night, but was in the gym, late at night, early in the morning, putting his work in. We all had keys to the gym. You could come to the gym at 1:00 in the morning, and Rick, he had the gun set up, and he was, what he would do is he would set the timer on the gun so that he could start at half court, run to the 3-point line, shoot a three, run back to half. I mean, he would do this stuff all night. So, you know, a lot of people don't realize, and it's kind of like Dennis Rodman, where you might think that those guys are crazy and that they're, you know, hanging out all night, and that's a fact. But they were also putting their work in. And Rick was one of those guys that was one of the hardest workers that I've ever been around.
Yogi Stewart joining us here on the Drive Guy, Sacktown Sports, 1140. Ricky Davis, we talked about. Vince Carter. I got to ask you about a young kid by the name of LeBron James.
Yeah.
You got to see LeBron his rookie year. It's crazy to think he's still out there playing. I mean, it's unbelievable. What was that like, man? I mean, because he came in with a lot of fanfare.
Hey, man, look, I've been retired forever, right? I mean, playing in the NBA was a lifetime ago, but you know, Brown is still playing, and you know, I got traded from Toronto to Cleveland, and you know, Brown was a rookie when I got traded, and you know, one of the best early stories is, you know, we had, you know, that team that first year in Cleveland was kind of a mix of older guys and younger guys. So we had older guys were Tyrone Hill, Jonas Ilgauskas, Benbo Coles. So we had a lot of older guys, but we also had young guys, LeBron, Carlos Boozer, Darius Miles, so DeJuan Wagner. So the first day that I ever met LeBron, we were playing pickup in the gym, and we, you know, the way that we did it was old guys versus young guys, and LeBron was a little bit late that day, so we played a couple games, and then Bron came in, and they didn't lose another game that day. You know, Bron was special. You know, from the first day that I saw him, I'd heard a lot about him. You know, he used to come I was there the year before he got drafted. So he used to come to the games and, you know, sit courtside, and, you know, he'd be with Phil Knight, and we'd be like, man, who is this kid? And so ended up, you know, getting drafted by Cleveland. And but that day, the first day I ever saw him, you know, he just had something special. You know, just his competitiveness, his ability, you know, just his mindset was completely different than, you know, most people that I've seen. And you know, I'm so proud of him and what he's been able to do in his career. And you know, and you know, the funny thing is, so you know, me, LeBron, and DeJuan Wagner were all teammates. And I guess I have to add Carlos Boozer to that too. So we were all teammates, and now we all have sons that play and that are about the same age. So my son and LeBron's son were McDonald's All-Americans together.
Ooh.
So, you know, we got a chance to reconnect, and, you know, seeing those guys play together was pretty special.
Yo, that was one of the questions I wanted to get in there is versus how much do you watch the game, meaning the NBA, knowing that your son is tied to a high level of basketball right now. And of course, you know, the sky is the limit. What's your intake on the NBA right now? Do you watch a lot of it? Do you keep up with it?
No, absolutely. I mean, I will say I probably watch more college basketball because my kids play college basketball than NBA, but I do watch both. I mean, I spend most of my time watching, you know, I mean, that's all I do. I mean, I'm a huge football fan. I'm a 49er fan.
Still, come on, man.
Yeah, shout out to the 49ers. I got some friends that live in Sac that are haters. They're Raiders fans, so we argue about that all the time. But yeah, no, I mean, I watched. You know, I love football. That's you know, might be my favorite sport right now. But I do spend a lot of time watching college, breaking stuff down so I can help my kids, and by extension, NBA stuff. I mean, I want to make sure that my guys know, you know, what's going on, and, you know, how people are playing, and you know, making comparisons to, what they do to, what, different guys in the NBA are doing, because that's ultimately what their goal is. And I'm doing everything I can to help them get there.
Now, Yogi, let me ask you this. You have to watch your son play, and I'm pretty sure you teach your son and you train your son. But do you train him the old school way, or do you let him play the new jack the 3-point shot way?
You know what? It's crazy, man. Like the way that it is now, if you can't shoot, they're not even looking at you as an option. I mean, it's different. Like you don't, back when I played, there was real role players where, like I couldn't shoot a lick, and I'm not, I'm not embarrassed to say that. My job was to block shots and rebound and bring energy and that type of thing. But nowadays, if you don't have that high level of skill, it is it's tough for you to overcome that, and when the scouts come out and they evaluate and all that kind of stuff, even if you never shoot a three in your NBA career, when you're working out and trying to get an opportunity, they want to see that you at least have the ability to do that. So I'm kind of in the middle. I tell my kids that they need to be able to do that, but at the same time, playing a role, mastering your role is also important. So in a workout, if you have to, make some threes and show them that you can do it, cool. But once it comes time to play, you have to, whatever role that they have, earmarked for you, you got to be great at that too.
Michael Yogi Stewart joining us. Last one for me, Yogi. You played with our boy Doug Christie out there DC, in Toronto, right. DC. Now he's the head coach of Sacramento. What do you make of that, man? Right.
Proud of DC, man. Doug was always, he was just one of the most cerebral, hardest workers. He just, you come in the gym, he was always there early. The DC was one of those guys that would, he would shoot. He would come in and work on his jump shot, but he was shooting 2 feet away from the basket. And he would do that for an hour before practice. He was just one of the hardest workers, very humble. And I'm honestly not surprised that he's a coach now. Because he was smart. He was, cerebral. He was, he was just one of those guys that you looked at and thought you could learn something from. And, I'm proud that he took that path. It's funny, you go through your NBA journey and you make friends with different guys, and different guys end up doing different things, and some people end up doing different things that you expected them to do. But DC is one that he's doing exactly what I expected him to do.
Our guy, Sacramento legend, Michael Yogi Stewart. We appreciate you jumping on with us, man. We got to do this again, man. People still fond of you. They know you're a high school legend, a Kings legend as well, man. We appreciate you coming on the Drive Guys here.
No, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me.
All right, that's our guy, Yogi Stewart, right there. When we come back, man, in about 10-15 minutes, we got the big dog coming up as well. So we continuing on. It's the Drive Guys. Coming up next, we'll look at Game 6 and get you ready for Game 7 between the Pacers and OKC. And Antoine Carr coming up at 5:10. See you next on Sacktown Sports 1140.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
At Elk Grove Honda, we've acquired some of the best pre-owned cars we can find. Whether you purchase a new Honda or a like new pre-owned Honda, Elk Grove Honda has the right Honda at the right price. In the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 and Elk Grove Boulevard, or elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where Groundworks comes in. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your boat, boat wins.
What are you going to do? Take the boat out for a spin or go mail something? Boat wins! Are we cleaning the patio or taking the boat out fishing? Boat wins! Are we skipping that eye exam to go sailing? Boat wins!
Rescheduling eye exams can be a nightmare.
All right, fine. Eye exam, then boat. Yeah!
With Progressive, you can bundle your boat with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings on your boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states and situations.
Summer days just got even brighter with Kohl's epic deals. Get this. You can score tees for just $5.99. Bedding for 60% off. Comfy shorts only $7.99. And so much more. You do not want to miss out. Shop Kohl's epic deals for savings on all things summer now, before it's too late. Select styles. Some exclusions apply. Offer ends June 22nd. See store at Kohls.com for details.
Hot summer savings explode!
Wow.
I ain't heard this song in like 30 years. Seriously, man. That's why we got Jay behind the boards on this Flashback Friday.
I tell you what, if you lived in anywhere west in Cali, you heard it.
This was it. Huh?
Yep.
This was the jam.
I mean, especially in the 80s, bro. It was just everywhere. Everywhere. Hammer and his crew was hot. You know, I mean, he gets crucified a lot, man, for, you know, a lot of the things that he did, but, you know, the mainstream now is doing it. I remember when he was one of the first rappers to have a mainstream commercial. I remember he did two. He did one for Taco Bell and he did one for Kentucky Fried Chicken, and they crucified him for that.
Crucified Hammer for that?
Yes. I mean, his career really took a hit. You know, like, oh, well, you know, he's a black man doing a commercial for chicken, and you know, he took a big hit. But now, you know, that's all that entertainers are doing.
Right,
you know,
right. He was the pioneer
endorsements,
on that.
but he was the pioneer on it.
I always tell this story. My mom, shout out to Brenda Draper back there on Walnut Lane in Philadelphia. She bought 2 hip-hop records her entire life. One was Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock, It Takes Two. I believe the other was MC Hammer, Can't Touch This and all that, Pray and all that, whichever album that was.
The first one?
Yeah. That's when you knew, and people, and I'll throw Will Smith in this, Fresh Prince in them.
Okay.
They were pioneers for quote unquote crossing over. Now dudes are hoping to cross over.
Yeah.
Hoping to get that pop money.
But wait, and when you did cross over back in the day, you were selling out. Remember?
Selling out.
Right. And see, and Hammer took a big hit on that too, because he was one of those that got played mainstream and was big with the videos. Remember, Hammer videos was hot.
Hammer videos
was lightweight a movie. His videos, you ain't popping in New York.
Yeah.
Hammer.
Oh yeah, you're right. Let me ask you this though. Hey, Jay, chime in on this. And maybe this is a conversation for the stream afterwards, you know, the after show stream.
After podcast.
Yeah. What happened with Hammer Pumps in a Bump Hammer? Like, tell me about that transition.
Oh, see,
he was already doing stuff like that, though.
But you know what? No, not really. Hammer was, his first music was all about having a good time.
Yeah,
it was about having a good time in the clubs, partying, and at that time you had to be bubblegum. You know, because it wasn't the hardcore rap. NWA hadn't really took over on that era yet. So he came out dancing, baggy pants, clothes, sequence, same thing like Dr. Dre and LA Dream Team.
Yeah.
He was in that era. So, you know, when NWA came, Too Short, all the guys that was hardcore rappers, he wanted to try to switch up. And then, like I said, they came with the pumps and the bumps, pumps and the bumps.
That video, bro, come on, man.
But mainstream was like, no, Hammer, you baggy pants. You ain't pumps in the bumps.
Right, they like, oh, you trying to be something you ain't.
Yes, you trying to switch over. And then, like I said, he took the hits from, you know, all the commercials and everything. They're like, no, dog, go eat some Kentucky Fried Chicken. You know, don't you got Taco Bell and Pepsi to deal with? So he took a hit that way too. So it was almost like damned if you do, damned if you don't with Hammer.
That's ridiculous, man. Because when you look at it, we got Snoop Dogg
everywhere,
hanging with Martha Stewart and stuff like that and everything.
Everywhere, yes.
You got Ice-T. Ice-T
took over.
He everywhere now. Ice Cube used to be some of the hardest cats in the world.
Yeah.
And now look at him.
Started out drinking St. Ides.
Right. Yo, I missed the St. Ides raps, bro. Remember when they had that? Oh,
yeah.
Man, that
you
was good stuff.
But see, Hammer started all that. He took a hit from it, and later on, dudes started getting paid off of it.
Right.
But
he was ahead of his time.
His career, he took hits.
He was ahead of his time. Shout out to MC Hammer, man.
Stanley Burrell.
Stanley Burrell, man. Pumps in the bump. Pumps in the bump. Back here, Drive Guy, Sacktown Sports 1140. Coming up in a second, we're going to be joined by the big dog himself, Antoine Carr. Jay, we want to squeeze in a call or no? Yeah, let's get in a call right now. 916-339-1140. Dave, you're on with Drapes and High Flyer and Jay. What's happening, man?
Man, you guys got to get your facts right, man. Dr. Dre started out with the world-class wrecking crew with DJ Yella and Shakespeare and them. That wasn't the LA Dream Team. The LA Dream Team actually has a Sacramento roots base to it. And I'm not sure if it was Snake Puppy or Rudy Pardee that actually went to Burbank High School. So
really,
I think it's Snake.
Okay.
Yeah, they started
Chris Snake
LA
Puppy, yeah.
But I want to say one of the two guys, original guys, actually went to Burbank High. So I didn't want to get your guys' facts mixed up between the LA Dream Team and the World Class Wrecking Crew. But
see, hold on. Hey, Dave, hold on now. Hold on, bro. Hold on.
Uh-huh.
We've been talking sports for 3 hours. Ain't nobody, but we get into hip hop. We get into old school. So I appreciate you, baby. I appreciate you calling in. That's what's up, man. Thanks for jumping on with us. 916-339-1140. 916-339-1140. Drapes, High Flyer, and Jay. I see the phone lines jumping up. We got Antoine Carr, the big dog, coming up in a second. Jay, we going to continue. Jay on the phone right now. Look at him. He working too.
That's right.
He working and eating over there.
He make it happen.
Eating over there.
That's all right. He one of the hardest working dudes in show
I
business.
know, dude. Shout out to the Jay doing this thing back there. But we had Game 6 last night. Game 7 tomorrow, Sunday night. Who you got? No, don't answer that because I'm gonna ask you that question later. Does Indiana really have a chance to win Game 7?
They do. They have a chance, Jay. KD.
Yeah.
But they have to have everything clicking. They're going to have everything. They're going to have their up-pace offense clicking. They're going to have guys knocking down threes clicking. They're going to have their bench play clicking. And most importantly, they are going to have to lock down defensively because this is it. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. This is the last dance, and OKC is at home. If you got to go into war, you feel more comfortable going into war on your home soil.
Yeah.
So Indiana is walking into the belly of the beast.
Right.
But there is no tomorrow.
Right.
So you better bring everything you have and make sure you got all your arsenal.
If you're OKC, you feeling? I mean, you got Game 7 on your home court.
More pressure on OKC than
100% though, right? That's what I was going.
100. Because you know what? You've been the team. You've been the darlings of the NBA all the way through. You've been the projected number one. And now you got Game 7 on your home floor. And you got embarrassed. You got embarrassed in Indiana. Are you going to let those dudes embarrass you in Indiana and then come to your home court and knock you out in Game 7? It's big time pressure on OKC.
Hey, let's continue talking NBA with our next guest here on the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports 1140.
My vet.
Yeah, they call him the big dog.
My vet.
16-year NBA vet. Antoine Carr. What's up, Twan? You on with Drapes? We got the High Flyer here too, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Doing great.
Good. This is like a family reunion out here with y'all two dudes.
Yes, sir.
High Flyer.
What's up, baby?
I'm gonna give you the first word. What was Antoine like as the vet?
You know what, man? It was funny because Antoine got traded to us mid-season. And when Twan came in, man, I mean, he just brought a different dynamic. I always say this, and I'm gonna let Antoine talk on this himself. Twan was our power forward, and I always tell people when we talk about Draymond Green and some of the antics that he get away with, I'm like, bro, let me tell you something. I like Draymond Green's game and I respect it. I say, but back in the 80s, he wouldn't want to see a young Antoine Carr at the 4 position. It just wouldn't have worked well for him.
Yeah, that might not ended too well.
Big dog,
He a tough boy, but I don't know. Well, back in them days, everybody was tough on the floor. So coming in there, a different story.
Let me ask you though about that first trip here to Sacramento. You get traded from Atlanta, come to Sacramento. When you look at the numbers, you had an immediate impact. You had arguably one of the best seasons of a player in Sacramento Kings history. What was that like for you, just going from Atlanta to Sacramento?
Oh, it's great for me. It gave me a chance to get out there and do things I knew I could do all along. Unfortunately, at the time, I was playing behind Dominique and a couple other guys, Kevin Willis, my boys over there. And they just didn't see the same thing I saw. So when I came to Sacramento, it was time to let them know. And, of course, we had Dick Motta out there, so he don't play around. You open, you better shoot that rock.
It was a situation to where, I was a young boy. So when Twan came and he brought a lot of professionalism, we knew he had played in Indiana and he had played with a lot of great players. But the thing about it is that, Antoine worked hard, bro. I mean, when you talk about big dog being there, he was that guy, man. And then, if we ever got into it to where we needed somebody to protect us, he was that dude. He wouldn't let nothing happen to you.
Oh, you can't touch my boys now. That's out on any team I ever play on. You don't touch my guys.
Antoine, go ahead, man.
I worked hard because I had a guy that was messing with me all the time named Al. I don't know if you remember Al Biancani.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was my guy. Man, he used to get on my behind, have me out there going. And remember, he used to talk about the pink panties. If you didn't come to work, you had to wear them. So, that's what one of our things was, is, you came in to work. If you didn't, hey, we're going to embarrass you. We'll let you know.
Now, Twan, were you on the squad? Because you talk about Dick Motta. Dick Motta was something special. And I think you were here at the time. We had just came off the road and we had a hard time on the road. We had lost a couple of games. And you know how Dick used to call us up at the center court before practice? He pulled us up in the center and he looked around and said, "Oh hell, y'all ain't gonna get no better. Everybody go home."
Yeah, we had a little tough time at home. We tough. On the road, yeah, it was ugly.
Hey, Twan,
very, very ugly.
Let me ask you about that, man, because I'm looking at the teams you played on in Sacramento, and the wins didn't come, but some of the names jump out. Danny Ainge, Vinny Del Negro, you played with. Kenny Smith, Wayman Tisdale, rest in peace. Y'all had some talent. Why didn't it solidify and click, you think?
Well, there was a lot of things going on at the time. I mean, you had different owners taking over. You had different presidents coming in. You had all kinds of things starting to pop off. And, we really, I don't think we had enough time together. It was my biggest thing. I just looked at when we had all the young guys coming in, Dwayne Coswell, Simmons, all those guys. It was just a matter of us coming together and staying together for a minute, and they never let us do that.
Twan, one of the things that we've heard around here is you played so well and you were too good that the Kings were trying to tank. They had to get rid of you super quick, get rid of you super fast, and you headed over to the Spurs. What was that like, transforming in from the Kings to the Spurs? And of course, it's a business, but was your heart still in Sacramento?
Tell you the truth, I was a little bit hurt by that. At the time, I thought I was playing well. Me and the guys were working out, and it just sat with me wrong, especially how they traded me. It wasn't like they called me up and said, "Hey, Antoine, we're thinking about." They just did it.
And Twan, the one thing that you brought to is that, we think about way back in those days, you and Karl Malone at that particular time was probably two of the best mid-range jump shooting power forwards we had seen in a long time, because you could step out from the box and knock down that jump shot.
Oh, yeah. I had a little skill, just a little bit.
We got the big dog, Antoine Carr, joining us here on The Drive, guys. Twan, I'm looking at, just and reflecting on some of the players you play with. Obviously, Dominique, Stockton, and Malone. Can you just speak to that era of basketball and the stars on those teams? You know, a lot of talk now about ring culture and everything like that. And LeBron said the other day, you can't tell me the Iversons, the Malones, the Stocktons, you know, of the world, the Dominiques of the world weren't great. What was it like during that era? And why do you think ring culture is what it is right now?
Oh, well, you know, the guys didn't take the pride that we took. You know, we looked at things just a little bit different. You know, I wasn't going to be friends with you if we're not teammates.
Mm.
You know, we're coming at you every day. So that's. I mean, it's a little bit different now. You know, they team up. You know, they go out and do their little parties and whatever, and yeah.
But see,
yeah,
Twan,
it's a little different.
Twan, they don't understand how. Like I said, we all had friends on different teams, but while we were competing, there was no friendship like that. And it wasn't the sentiment of, okay, we're going to get together and we're going to build this super team and play for a championship. It was all about, no, this is my team. And if we bring some players here, cool, but I'm about to do what I got to do for this team here.
Right. Well, that was the standard procedure on every team. You know, I got boys, Sean Kemp. But when me and Sean butt head on the court, you see how it came out. We go at it. And matter of fact, I got dunked on one time because of that.
By Sean?
Oh, yeah, Sean. Yeah, he gave it to me good. You know, you can see it on YouTube every now and then.
I'm gonna have to look that up. Okay.
Of course, I've been trying to get it off for years.
Joined by Antoine Carter, Big Dog. Twan, I want to ask you about the nickname, the Big Dog. Yours is DAWG, and then you had Glenn Robinson, who followed the Big Dog. I don't want to start no beef or anything, but did you see? And Glenn Robinson was a hell of a ball player, but have you ever thought about, like, man, this dude tried to steal my nickname, or somebody gave him my nickname, or did you see it as, you know, someone following in your footsteps who was a hell of a player?
Oh, well, he's a hell of a player, a young guy, and, you know, there's a big difference between DOG and DAWG.
Ooh, okay.
As DAWG, we may not get a bunch of shine, but you can guarantee if you jump in that ring with us, that's your.
I keep telling y'all.
You know, with the DOG, you know, that's more of a, you know, you get in front of the crowd, you prance around, you run around the circle a little bit, you know. You win a trophy or something, and then you go home.
Twan, I keep telling them, baby, they don't understand. Every time we talk about it, I'm like, hey, if Antoine Carr was there, it was going to be a different situation, man. Because I'd have been out with this dude plenty of times. It's going to be a different story.
Yeah, you know, I believe in protecting mine. That's the way I've always been.
Hey, Twan, do you feel like that side of basketball is missing, though? That, you know, like you were talking about, you know, nowadays everybody's buddy. Like, it seems like it's affected the competitiveness out there, the spirit of competition out there. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it's a different style, you know. Back then, you couldn't get away with the ballet moves that they're using now. You know.
What, that gather, Euro step they call it now and everything? Like
yeah, the gather and, you know the offensive push that you can get away with now. Of course, back then, only Jordan could get away with that. But, you know.
Ouch.
I'm kidding. That's my boy.
Hey, let me ask you this, Twan. Think about this now. We played in the exact same era, and I watch these dudes now. They come in the middle, and they got this floater shot that they put up to the rim. Wasn't no floating back in our day at all.
Well, you can try to float it. You know. You got guys like Dominique and those guys going up 46, 48 inches. So you want to try to lay something up, go right ahead.
Hey, Twan,
getting in the paint, though, you got to remember, getting in the paint was way tougher.
Twan, I found that Sean Kemp dunk. We ain't got to talk about that. All I know is you turned to the ref and signaled that he held you off with the off arm, like he pushed off. But I didn't see that, Twan. I'm just saying.
He my dog. He threw it off a little bit, but, you know, he did get me. He did get me. I'll give him that.
Hey, but I'm looking at this mix of some of your highlights, man, and I want to ask you about this play, and I urge people to go out there and check out our guy, Big Dog Antoine Carr, some of his highlights on YouTube. You get the rebound and push it full court and dunk on the Celtics. You remember that one?
Yeah.
What was that one like for you? Tell me about that play.
Well, I'm going to give you a little story on that one if we got time.
Yeah.
I had a guy named Larry Bird kind of talking stuff to me.
Oh, you dunked on Bird there too, yeah.
And I came in, and he looked at me like, "Well, young fella, you into trouble tonight." I was coming in from Italy. I'm like, "What? You obviously don't know who I am, bro." So when I did that, I took off and dunked on once. I did it another time, dunked on him again. That's why I should have shut up. Because then he proceeded to give me like 25, 26 real quick.
I'm telling you, man, that Larry Bird story, man, Twan, they don't understand how much trash Larry would talk to your face.
Oh, he talks so much stuff, he'll make your teammates laugh.
Dang.
He did that to us in New Orleans.
Were you on the bench during that game? Or were you in the game then? Like the one where he hit the shot?
Yeah, we ain't going to talk about that one.
Okay. What he gave 60 that game, right?
Yeah.
My bad, Twan. I'm not laughing at you, man. I'm laughing with you right now. We all
yeah, I got
we family here.
It's okay. Both of my sons sit up there and say, "Pops, what? How? What? Why?" And I say, "Well, son, that's one of those times you learn. Sometimes you just shut up. Don't talk."
Hey, and Larry Bird a bad man. I'm telling you.
Oh, trust me. I hit him that game and knocked him to the stands. He hit them but bottom of the net. I had to go over there and lift him up and say, "Hey, you a bad boy."
Let me ask you this, Twan. You I mentioned played with Stockton and Malone. Just how good was that duo? And do you think, despite not winning a ring, obviously MJ years and everything like that, you think that Utah era team has been overlooked a little bit among the great teams?
I definitely think we were overlooked. We gave a great battle to those guys, and they couldn't let us win it. They had to have Jordan going out properly, especially when the push-off happened.
Let's talk about that. Should that have been called? Where's the challenge flag at for that one?
Well, I definitely would have had to do the replay because he kind of tapped my boy on the behind as he was reaching just a little bit,
Now, Twan, I want to ask you this. Especially like those 2 years, I honestly think if it wasn't for Jordan, Utah would have had two because y'all was the best team. I mean, playing at that particular point, you guys with the 1-2 duo with Stockton and everybody, y'all couldn't be stopped.
Yeah, we just made a few mistakes on the defensive end. We should have changed up a little bit, and maybe on the offense when Pippen was hurting a little bit, we should have attacked him more. So, it's just small things that you see now that maybe the coach didn't see then. Because me personally, I'd have got on the post and whoever he was guarding, if he was guarding me, it would have been hamburger.
Mincemeat out there, right?
And Pip is my boy because he's a hell of a defensive player. But me and him down on that post,
Shout out to the big dog, man. We appreciate it, man. You are welcome anytime.
Anytime.
Kings legend Antoine Carr. We appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming on the Drive Guys today.
Oh, anytime. I appreciate you guys looking me up.
Hey, big dog, holla at your boy, man. You got the digits.
All right. Well, I will definitely do that.
All right.
Y'all got the digits. Y'all know how to call me too, because sometimes I'm in the construction field, so I get out in them fields and get to rolling, and I might forget everything for about a half a minute.
All right. We appreciate you, big dog, man. We'll check out with you again.
All right, brother. Much love to everybody.
All right, Antoine Carr joining the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports 1140. Coming up next, we want to talk about our top 5 R&B singers of all time. All time.
I want to see this list here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll be back here on the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on Experience Beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying for it. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card below 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia. I got a tour of their headquarters. I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for American Energy, and oh my goodness, I'm born and raised here. I know it gets hot, but my goodness, we're already seeing 100-degree days. Listen to me. You do not want your system to conk out in the middle of June or July or August with one of those big 100-degree stretches. You want to make sure you're good all summer long. And my friends at American Energy Heating and Air can do that with a $24.50 tune-up right now. That's half price. And if you need a new system, $3,500 off, up to $3,500 off in rebates for qualified systems. They've been around since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Call them right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now. This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey everyone, it's Kyle Draper here. If you're in the market for a new car, let me tell you about my experience with Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the moment I walked into their state-of-the-art showroom, I knew I was making the right choice. There was no pressure from the sales staff, and if I'm being honest, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV, and let me tell you why. First of all, the comfort. After a long day at work, I actually look forward to being in my car. It has several different massage settings, including my favorite, hot relaxing back. Plus, the seat heating and cooling features are perfect for for the hot summer or those chilly mornings. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. They're just a short drive down I-5, or you can shop online anytime at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com, and tell them Drape sent you.
When I was in Iraq, our convoy was hit. It was bad. After I came home, I could still hear booms and see tracer fire. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
With help from DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
DAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans each year.
Today, I'm part of DAV. We're veterans helping veterans to get the benefits they've earned. And I give my veterans my all.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Naomi Mathis, thank you for your service. May your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Hello, I'm Frank Cockworth, Retirement Security Centers with a weekly economic update. Could a slow spring in residential real estate sales mean that lower home prices may be coming? For many years, the issue with residential real estate was the lack of inventory, with buyers outnumbering sellers. Treating a low mortgage rate for today's higher rates and prices could be a deterrent. This is sometimes called the lock-in effect. Home prices have increased by over 20% since 2021. 63% of prospective buyers state that mortgage rates currently at 6.89% would have to drop below 5% for them to consider buying a home. Sellers are currently outpacing buyers at the highest level since 2013. Redfin is actually predicting a 1% drop in home prices in 2025. This could mean that a buyer with means to cover a higher mortgage could marry the home but date the mortgage, waiting for lower rates to refinance and lower their payment in later years. These buyers may be able to dictate terms to the seller, allowing them to get into the home of their dreams with a potential drop in monthly costs in the coming years. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Mosaic Wealth, member FINRA SIPC. Mosaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Mosaic Wealth.
Whitey here for Napoleon Grills, reminding you that when buying a new grill, every detail matters. While supplies last, you'll receive a $149 gift with purchase on every new Napoleon Prestige stainless steel grill. The kit even includes a pizza lover starter kit and much more. And now up to $79 off Napoleon Rogue models. Napoleon grills are built different, built better, built to last, with a lifetime warranty and premium steel that boasts amazing quality. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Giant Summer Sale and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sacktown Sports.
Back here on the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports.
Now
1140.
That's GAANGA.
Name them.
That's gangster.
Y'all know who these are?
No.
This artist what?
No, hold up.
That's
Hold up,
gangster
Jay.
right there.
I know this. Hold on.
Okay. That's one rap when you could talk and have to cuss.
Yeah.
You put this straight to the radio. No problem.
This ain't DFC.
Nope. I'll give you a hook hint. This is Brian McKnight on the hook. He was featured.
Brian McKnight. So this is that era. So this 90s?
Early 90s.
They rap. Look up, down, and say, I'll take the.
Oh, hold on. Ill Out Scratch?
Yes, sir.
Give it up, big time. Give it up.
Look at KD going nuts. He going nuts. He called it.
I quit, Jay.
He called it. Hey, he hit the 3-pointer at the buzzer. He knocked down the 3 at the buzzer.
Yeah, what you know about that, Jay?
Ill Out Scratch.
Well, that was one of my favorite songs as a kid. I used to come on.
Hey, that was a cold little
Video Soul and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Up and down.
Wow,
And say, I'll take
There was some smooth cats on that video.
Man. What y'all remember about
Cause that's Big Daddy, right? Look her up and down and say,
I'll take her. Yeah, that's
Big Daddy
going
Kane.
80s. Yeah. What y'all know about Mac Ball, Young Lay, and All About My Fetty? Come on, man. Jay. Come on, Jay. You speaking of my era right there. Oh, man.
You know what? It's funny, man, how, I'm a basketball player. It seemed like all basketball players wanted to be entertainers, and all entertainers wanted to be basketball players.
Yep. I did a story
they went
with
hand in hand.
I did a story with Kobe Bryant on that because remember he dropped
I did
a story
album.
with the late great Kobe Bryant on that one, man. So
Cause didn't AI drop an album too?
yeah, AI did. Yeah. He got in trouble for his.
Sure
I think
did,
though. Yeah, the commissioner was like,
yeah, AI dropped one.
C-Web
Said Sabalos.
Come on, man. Said was laying on my floor playing with my turntables back in the day.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
In town? He from the town?
No, he's from LA.
From LA, right?
From LA, though. Okay.
See, I went to school with his brother, Chris Sabalas.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So Sid used to
in
live.
Fullerton?
Yeah, Sid used to live with us.
Damn. All right, Drive Guys here, man. Sacktown Sports 1140. Jay sent this in a text chat. And I was like, do we want to touch it? But I said, I got to. Billboard.com. Top 75 best R&B singers of all time. Can't run through the whole list.
Right.
But I'm going to just give you their top 5.
Let's get to the meat and potatoes of it because I want to know what's your top
Hold up,
5.
play. Let me. Yeah. I'll tell you what.
75 was a lot of fun.
75 is a lot.
Yeah, that's too many.
But they were pretty much all through 75. There were great names, minus a few people that need to be pulled.
They got
off.
Stevie Wonder at 1.
Of
Aretha Franklin
all time.
All time.
No,
male and female?
Yeah.
Yes, it's male and female all time.
Aretha Franklin 2. Michael Jackson 3.
Okay.
Beyonce 4. Whitney Houston 5.
Give the top 10.
I keep it going because we got more. James Brown at 6. Prince at 7. Mariah Carey at 8. R. Kelly at 9. Marvin Gaye at 10.
I got a problem.
I think we all got a problem.
Yeah.
What's your problem? I'll let you start.
Whitney Houston, I got a problem.
Really?
As far as being too high or too low?
No. I got a problem.
What?
I'm sorry. You cannot even start talking about R&B without Luther Vandross.
All right. Luther gonna be in there.
Hit for hit.
Let me see where Luther at.
None of them want to touch Luther.
Let me see where they got
Luther.
R&B. Interesting, because I got something for that.
Hey, if you want to go versus, probably R. Kelly. Probably be the only one that can go hit for hit with Luther Vandross.
R. Kelly got some hits. I know he did his thing. He's in trouble in the clique.
No. We're just talking about music-wise. Boy can't be touched.
They got Luther at 22.
That's disrespectful. That's a slap in the face. That's a slap in the face.
I'm with you on that.
Because
I think he right around there.
Really, Jay?
I think he's overrated.
Jay, what?
Oh, are we talking hits or are we talking vocals?
I think
the
hits, full package.
Vocals. Luther Vandross was singing on Sesame Street. What are you talking about? Luther Vandross did the Coors jingle, the Budweiser jingle.
It's a crossover. He like Hammer.
Vandross did all of that.
Crossover Hammer.
Wrote and directed all of his videos and music. Come on, bro. I can take Luther Vandross' album, put it up against anybody's.
I don't see it that way.
Jay don't see it there. We're going to get to Jay's coming up in a minute. Here's where. And
Here and Now has to be the number one record you played at your wedding.
Nah.
No.
Nah, that's for them. Never mind. I don't want to disrespect nobody.
Don't disrespect. That go to air. Hey, that go to air problem right there.
Dude, Campio says, ask your wife if Luther is overrated.
She would say that. She would say that. Be careful, Campio.
Yeah, he went there.
Yeah, he did.
But here's the problem I have with this list, and it's not about dissing anybody. But Jay, in my eyes, some of these ain't even R&B acts, R&B singers.
I think you got to start there for sure.
Some of them are pop singers.
Very true.
Okay, where would you put? Let's call a spade a spade. Where would you put Michael Jackson?
He's pop.
Exactly.
He's not R&B.
Yeah,
no, it's not. Exactly.
He's not R&B.
Yeah.
Mariah
He's the king
Carey.
of pop.
Mariah Carey.
She's pop.
Beyonce.
Beyonce.
Yes, it's crossed over, but
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but I got to give you my Beyonce take before we go.
I mean, Beyonce's great.
I love Beyonce.
But when you start thinking about R&B,
right? I'm with you. I think Prince is a pop artist.
Now,
no,
Okay, yeah. I don't.
Hey, Aretha Franklin, rightfully so.
That's soul. That's rightfully so.
Who else was on there?
James Brown. You got that? Mariah, R. Kelly.
Mariah got to go.
You know who the number one is? Yeah, I agree. Mariah's pop.
Yeah, Mariah got to go.
You know who my number one?
Who's that?
Marvin Gaye.
Okay.
You can't argue that. Okay. If you argue that, you're disrespectful to Marvin Gaye.
No. Marvin Gaye is in there for me.
Marvin Gaye's in there.
I'm telling you, Marvin Gaye is in there for me. Luther Vandross is in there for me. Whitney Houston kind of rolled over to the pop too. She had pop tunes too.
Yeah, she
had pop tunes too. Now, this is a group, but I want to roll out. I mean, let me see.
Well, see, that's the problem. You can't go group.
Exactly.
Can't go group.
How about this? Peabo Bryson.
Ooh. He was down in the 50s.
Yeah,
or 60s.
He's way back there. I can't even scroll
like
that far back. How about, let me give you 11, 12, 13. They got Usher at 12.
He around there.
Yeah, okay.
He's around there.
No, Usher got the hits.
Usher got hits. I give you that.
Ray Charles at 11.
He should be right there.
Okay.
Top 10 for sure.
Change the game.
Yep.
Sam Cooke, 13.
Absolutely.
I'm not arguing
that's
that.
my
Curtis
grandmother.
Mayfield. Come
on now.
Can't argue Curtis Mayfield. Isaac Hayes. Ooh. He was waiting for that. Curtis in there. Jay crazy, man. Mary J at 16.
She right there.
Mary
J. Can't hate on Mary J. Yeah, you can't. Janet Jackson, 17.
Sure.
No,
she's pop though. I think she's kind of pop. She's crossed over to pop.
Yeah,
because you know what? I'll throw Patti LaBelle in there.
Yeah,
she was down there. What 20? She's around 20.
No, right. Patti LaBelle got to be. Yep.
Patti LaBelle got to be in there.
Yep. Who else? I'm just going through some. You know who is in my top 5?
Al Green.
Yeah, Al Green. Robinson. My top 5. Y'all, I'm gonna see this dude in August.
Patti LaBelle 25.
Jeffrey Osborne.
Okay.
He gotta be top 20.
How about this?
He got some hits.
James Ingram.
Can you woo?
James Ingram.
Oh yeah. Now and 25, 23.
Okay. And you know what?
James Ingram, he gotta be in the 50s, 60s.
Oh.
You gotta keep it a buck. You gotta keep it a buck. Like James Ingram hits, and this is the tough part about even our sports conversations too, fellas. Eras make a difference.
Yes,
absolutely, for sure. Yeah. Like James Ingram to even my era, 40s. No disrespect to who he is, but he's not a powerhouse. He's not the Luther Vandross. He's not the Marvin Gaye, the Otis Redding, the Sam Cooks. He's not those guys.
Nope.
You know, he's like Joe for us,
right?
Joe,
like that type of situation for Tyrese,
yeah,
like those type of guys for our generation.
Where you got Chris Brown at? Is he more pop?
Yes.
Nah, see, I think he R&B.
He more pop for me.
Okay. So I'm going through this list, fellas. They got Rihanna 46,
which is way too low.
Come on,
low,
way too low.
Yeah,
low. That's way too low.
Rihanna, get out of here.
What?
Rihanna more pop than anybody else.
She is pop. She's pop for sure. She's pop, but that's way too low.
See, but this is where this list. The Weeknd at 47. I'm not a Weeknd guy. Okay. They got Lauryn Hill on this list at 48. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, more.
John Legend at 50. That's a little disrespectful, though, maybe, right?
Think so.
I'm looking for my guy, Jeffrey Osborne, I said, right?
Yeah. I think he was in the 50s or 60s.
Is he? I'm still looking for him here.
He was back
They got
there.
Tevin Campbell at 57.
He shouldn't even be on the
He
list.
shouldn't even be on the list.
No.
You said Peebo Bryson, 58.
I mean,
you got Fantasia at 59.
That's low.
Hey, how about this? Music Soul Child.
He's in the 60s, I think.
Bro.
He was down there somewhere.
This is crazy. Dude, if they don't got Jeffrey Osborne, hold up, Jay.
Hey, how about
I thought
this
he
one?
was on there.
Wait. How about this one? How about Bobby Womack?
He's on there.
Yeah, Bobby
He was in the
Womack,
20s.
69.
All the way down.
69,
All the way
Jay.
down
That's
here.
disrespectful
Yes.
to Bobby, too.
That's disrespectful.
Oh.
Dog, I didn't see Jeffrey. Hold on. I got to go back, Jay.
These were a couple of my conundrums, fellas.
Yeah, what you got?
Keith Sweat, completely.
Not on the list?
No, he's on the list,
Oh.
but he's in the 60s, I believe.
Damn.
Completely disrespected. R&B, just R&B, not pop,
Yeah,
not crap.
okay.
Completely disrespected. Barry White was too low.
I was about to say Barry
He was
White.
way too low on there. Frank Ocean shouldn't even be on the list.
37 they put Frank
Come on,
Ocean
man.
at.
SZA shouldn't even
Come
be
on
on the
now.
list.
No,
yet.
at all.
You know what I mean? Criminal, I didn't see. Sade wasn't on the list.
No Sade.
How is Sade not on this list?
Jay,
You know
this is
what?
terrible.
You know why? Because she's probably more on the jazz scenes.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I can respect
They
that.
probably had her
I
more
can
on the
respect
jazz
that.
scene.
I can respect that. The other one that if we're talking band versus single, he did a lot solo, still continue to do Uncle Charlie. Charlie
Yes.
Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't,
No.
you know,
Hey, I got one for y'all. Gerald Levert.
he's on there.
Oh, he on
He's
there?
on
All
there.
right.
Yeah, he's
Gerald
on there too,
Levert.
40s.
No, am I looking at the right list, Jay?
Let me check. You looking for Jeffrey Osborne?
Yeah,
Let me check.
they got Tank on here at
Yeah,
67.
Tank is on there.
Tank at 67.
You might as well have Tyrese.
He wasn't on the
He
list.
wasn't on the
I
list.
said, if you got Tank on the list.
Right.
Tyrese got more hits than Tank.
Dog, I don't see Jeffrey Osborne.
He's not on there?
I'm about to move some furniture.
Yeah.
How do you not have Jeff?
I know. Can you woo? Come on, man.
And you got to take his stuff with LTD.
Right.
And, come on, man.
Oh, Teddy Pendergrass.
He's on
He's
there.
on there. He's
Ooh.
on there. Yeah, he's on there.
The two that I completely Rick James was 51. I thought that was a low.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But this is the one because I got to fight for my era. The Allen Iverson of the R&B game. She set the trends. Opened
Oh,
the
I know
doors
who
for Beyonce.
I know you're
Opened the
talking
doors for Missy, even though she worked with Missy. Opened the doors for people like that.
I know who you're talking about.
The Allen Iverson of our era. Aaliyah. 40?
Oh.
Even out of disrespect, even out of respect.
Longevity didn't have the longevity? Is
Gail
that
Sayers, baby. Terrell Davis, baby. Marcus Dupree.
You know what, though? Aaliyah did change the game.
She changed the game.
Yeah.
Aaliyah
Beyonce
changed the
didn't
game.
want it
opened
to
it up
be
for
Aaliyah.
everybody.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
did. She changed the game.
She changed the game.
Can I give you my Beyonce take real quick?
You got to give us your top 5. You
I really, all right. So number 1, Marvin Gaye.
Okay.
Number 2, nobody mentioned my boy Smokey Robinson.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I go
16,
way back.
17, 18.
I go way back. See, I go way back.
All right, what you on?
Smokey, Jeffrey Osborne,
Mm-hmm.
got to be on there. Jay put me on the spot here.
You supposed to have this
I know I'm
together.
supposed to have this ready. And you know who I'm going to throw in there, man? Honestly, I'm an R. Kelly, like, musical.
Get it.
The music.
Love
Get it.
R.
Yeah.
The music. Let me say that again.
But people asking Teddy Pendergrass 23.
Hit Doctor.
Without
Doctor.
doubt.
Right.
Smokey Robinson.
If you
the
need
boy
a
19.
if you need a hit, you go see the R.
Yeah. Yep.
100%.
Yep.
100%.
Exactly. So that's 4. And then number 5, I would probably say, that's tough. I can't put Usher that high. I can't.
He's close.
He got the hits. He got the hits. I might go Teddy P. Teddy P a Philly guy, so I might have to go Teddy P on y'all cats.
I'm close with you.
What you got?
I'm close with you. I ride with Marvin.
Okay.
Luther,
Marvin Gaye.
Hey, Luther Vandross is there. I don't care what nobody
I'm not gonna
says.
argue.
Luther, hit maker. I'll roll with R. Kelly.
Okay.
All right. I'm a Gerald Levert fan to
Yeah.
the day I die. Love me some Gerald Levert. And I want to throw a female off in there.
You have to.
I want to throw a female off in
Shaka
there.
Khan was mine.
Oh, Shaka.
Hey,
He's 27.
Shaka put it down. But I'm gonna go way out. I'm gonna go way out the list for me, man. For my female, I love me some Tina Marie.
Ooh, she was in the back too.
Yeah,
she was in the
she back
60s.
there.
I love
you going back to our
Tina Marie,
our childhood right
Dude,
there.
She's
bro.
65.
Hey, Tina Marie could blow.
Dude, let me ask you this: Mary J. Top 10?
Yes,
she got the hits.
Yes,
she got the hits.
Yes, Mary J's top 10 for me.
I'm a Dionne Warwick fan too. I say I'll go. I'm like a 60s.
Does she have enough?
You like Dionne?
Enough cuts,
bro?
Yeah.
You sleeping?
She didn't have enough for
She
me.
a pioneer, bro. Put some respect.
You know what though? Before I go Dionne, I have to go with Patty and Anita Baker.
Yeah, Patty. Patty got the Philly connection.
Hey, I got to go with Patty and Anita Baker.
Real quick, Jay.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that now.
Real quick.
Now,
Beyonce.
Come on. Walk with me, Lord.
I like Destiny Child Beyonce better than
Agreed.
solo
100%.
Beyonce.
She's crossed over to pop.
Thank you, Jay.
You know what?
Destiny Child Beyonce.
I'm a Kelly.
They were
Rowland.
monsters.
I'm a Kelly Rowland.
Kelly
fan.
Rowland, me too.
I'm a Kelly
They were
Rowland fan.
monsters. Now Beyonce, no shade, but I was listening to some of Destiny's Child old stuff. Man, they were monsters.
Jay.
There it is.
Let that go, Jay. Now you know the party that started. Now you know
That
the
is
party
true.
that started.
Boy, old barbecues, party.
Hey.
Real quick, fellas, game 7. Who you got?
Who you got? I got OKC.
Give me OKC.
I got OKC. I want Indy to win. I do. I want to go with the underdog, but OKC.
Game 7 Sunday. We're going to be back on Monday. I might have you slide through because Kevin Whitey Gleason took another day off.
He took
another day off. And
right,
another
man.
one.
And another one.
And another one. What's our out time, Jay? Oh, we got to bounce. 15 seconds. Thanks for riding with the Drive Guys all this week. For High Flyer, for our boy Jay behind the boards. It's been a great week. We'll see you on Monday here. It is NBA Draft Week. Have a great weekend, everybody. See you Monday at 2 o'clock on Saturday Sports 1140.
Get it.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Roseville Auto Mall.